My name is Ron Sara. That's Jopsimus Prime, aka Master Dick, and that's Ninja Iceberg down below too. What's up, guys? Episode 143. Take care, cause I care. Always.
XOXO.
XOXO. You remember them pager codes? Ninja 632. I think that stood for whatever or forever.
I don't. Is that what it's? I don't know.
Oh, come
I
on,
remember
man.
143. I don't. Well, I didn't really have a pager when I was young,
Oh, you didn't?
so I never really did all that.
Yeah, I had a pager, but I didn't get in on all the codes or whatever.
Joff was just getting the 911 from some shorty, huh? Hit you with the 911, huh? Like, oh shit, I gotta go.
What happened now?
You know, or she'd hit you up with the 69 911, or maybe a 411 star 69. You know,
Mhm.
or something like that. Or you would have to read the pager codes. Did you know how to read pager code too, Joff? Ninja?
Not really. Like maybe then, but not not too much. Not that I could remember.
Like the 6 would stand for a P.
Or G?
Or
Yeah,
G, yeah,
G.
something like
Yeah,
that.
Yeah,
stuff like
yeah.
that.
No, I knew that stuff. That stuff I remembered, or I learned it somewhere.
We come from that
But
era. That's kind of crazy,
yeah, yeah.
right?
That's the
That.
era. Same thing with like T9, typing with
Mm-hmm.
T9.
Mm-hmm. Kumusta sa lahat ng mga tao there on Kumu? Pangalan ko si Ron Sara. Ito si Master Dick, aka si Jopsimus Prime yan. Oh, si Jopsimus yan. Ninja Iceberg down below. Pasensya na medyo, I will go in and out sa Tagalog ko, my English. Pero these people here will speak in English for y'all. So if you guys want to comment, we're going to be talking about the Batman tonight, our long-awaited review of the Batman. Also Mood Night, and also a bunch of, there's a lot of stuff actually going on in pop culture right now. And there was some things that I kind of did want to talk about, but maybe we'll get to that later. We'll get to
Like the
everyone's.
Warriors being up 3-0. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Um, Also, a bunch of other teams looking like they don't even belong here. You know what I'm saying? Hi, Micah. How
like
are you?
like Denver.
The
Well, I
Timberwolves.
mean,
I
I
mean,
mean, they
there's
are
all
putting
kinds
up
of.
a Denver is putting up a decent fight, I guess.
Yep.
But yeah,
Uh, well, maybe we'll talk about some basketball. I also wanted to actually talk about. Wanted to get your opinion, even though sometimes we get messy. We'll talk about celebs and all that stuff. I mean, Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, they're going through it right now in their trial. I don't know
yeah,
if you guys have been kind of keeping up, but
The only
it's
thing I
not
unfortunate.
saw
really,
about that
not really.
was Kevin Nash got involved. It's like,
Kevin Nash.
yeah.
Well,
What
everyone's
did he
getting
say
involved
something
here.
or yeah? Everyone's saying something.
Yeah,
No,
James Franco supposedly involved. Paul Bettany.
they deposed Kevin Nash. He testified or some shit like that. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Really?
crazy.
What? Okay.
But yeah, we'll talk about. I mean, there's all types of stuff that's happening, with that, and sometimes we do talk about the serioso stuff here. We talk about relationships, love, toxicity,
Yeah.
but I think toxicity also goes both ways. A lot of toxicity gets linked to just men, but nah, there's female toxicity too. You know what I mean? And even though sometimes we don't want to speak on female business, we could actually talk about that stuff in some type of way, of talking about it from our perspective and the experiences we have with the other sex and all that stuff. So thank you guys for hanging out. If you happen to be watching us on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, you know what I'm saying. I'm gonna go ahead and share this right now. Joff, how's your week been since I last seen you?
I don't know. Not bad. Just yeah, just trying to trying to stay safe. Motherfuckers is open and like should have ended already.
Right.
Yeah.
Act- acting like acting like everything's okay. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I can understand at some point, but you know, I've noticed a lot more people not wearing masks. So I guess,
Definitely, definitely.
but you
I
know,
see it too. I
I
see it too.
I still like trying to look at the numbers, see if it's like increasing or whatever. It seemed like it's you know level like it's relatively not no spikes. Something it's just hold it's just holding where it should be or where it is. So
Mm,
we'll see. I mean, as it usually takes what 2 months to see, or
hmm
a couple of weeks to see, a couple of weeks to see after they lift everything, and then if it would spike or whatever. So just and you'd have like a spike for 2 months, and then it's gonna go down. That's just a pattern, but we'll see, man.
What do you call it? I've noticed in my area. I'm out here in Elk Grove, y'all. So
Oh,
that's
dude, that
already
that that shit doesn't exist over there, dude.
that's already something. And we were at the Walmart yesterday, and I turned to Liana and I was like, "Hey, only brown people are wearing masks." She's
Yep.
like, "Yeah, I know. Asians too. But
Yeah, just Asians in general. I feel like.
Asians, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
generally. Yeah.
Some Mexican folks out here, you know what I mean? Um, the black folks too, they got their mask on. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it seems very one sided right now. It's either this or that. You know what I mean? It's either this or that. So, yeah. But yeah, what about you, Ninja? How are you? How are you since I last seen you?
Yeah, it's all good. Just chill. Um, yeah, nothing really to go on about. Just chill. Finally got
Awesome,
around to watching Batman.
awesome.
So
Uh,
so we could
to
talk
the
about it.
Yep, to the people down below. Spoiler alert at all times. We're going to be talking about Batman, but if you guys want to comment anything regarding pop culture, just if you happen to be on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, I see we have some watchers in the building. I was going to say, go ahead and give us a message, and we'll put it on the screen here. We love. It's kind of cool, guys. These last couple of weeks, we've been getting a lot of interaction with the Twitch or the Facebook audience. How do you feel about that, Master Dick?
It's cool. I mean, except for fucking Gregory Buttocks trying to hijack the show and shit.
From Sokovia, right? He's from
Yeah,
Sokovia, right?
or
Latvia or
Yeah,
some shit.
Latvia.
Slovakia.
Yeah. Or Slovakia. Yeah, whatever.
No, he's from where
Somewhere.
Doctor Doom. He's from where Doctor
Somewhere.
Doom's from, right?
Yeah.
Latvia.
Yeah,
Latveria, right?
Oh
Latvia
yeah,
is the
Latveria.
real
Latveria.
country. Latveria is the Doctor Doom country, I think.
On Moon Knight, they're theorizing where remember he woke up in the somewhere in the Alps or whatever. They're saying that
Yes.
might be Latveria.
Wow. Um,
All
trying to
right,
share
maybe.
this right now. But yeah, we're gonna be talking about the Batman. So let's get ready.
Yeah.
We're
I,
talking
I
about,
assume everyone's like, oh my god, I need to know what they think about Batman.
of
Everyone
course,
wants to know
of
what
course.
our
They
what our
got.
thoughts are.
It's why they watch a show on a Friday night. To the people out
Spoiler:
there.
Batman dies. It's
Oh,
over.
dude, it's weird. It's weird. One and done. I didn't
I know,
expect
dude.
that. Did not
um,
expect that at all.
I was gonna say Ninja and me seen it this week probably. Um,
Yes.
Joff was one of the first ones to see it out of our group. He gave us a spoiler free review before, and he really liked it. Uh, I have my own feelings about it, but Ninja, let's hear it from you. When did you watch the movie, Ninja?
I think it was like Monday or Tuesday.
You watched it right away
One of
after.
those days. Yeah, yeah, one of those days. And I was actually planning on like watching it like taking a couple days to watch it because it's a 3 hour movie, and I
Yeah,
was thinking, oh, I'm probably gonna watch like a little bit here, a little bit there, and just watch it piecemeal. That didn't happen. I actually just sat there and watched the whole thing all the way through, just because it's very interesting and very compelling. I thought so. So yeah, I just watched. I just I started at like 10:30, and I just watched it straight through.
I
So
watched it on a Wednesday, so I was just like, "Holy shit!" The movie actually came out like a couple of days ago.
Monday,
So
yeah,
yeah.
Monday.
so we ended up watching it, and one of my takeaways from that too was sometimes, guys, I like to watch certain movies, whether it's a Marvel movie or whatever, and just watch certain parts.
Hmm.
You can have your fulfillment of, oh, remember this moment, remember this cool little moment. I just want to watch that. In my opinion, this is definitely not one of those type of movies that you can just break apart and just watch. Hi, Lester. I don't know if you're still here. What's up, man? We're talking about the Batman. So again, this is a movie that, I mean, you got to watch it. Maybe no matter even where you're from. Let's say it happens to be on TV, because I'm pretty
Hmm.
sure this movie will be on TV soon. If I happen to come at a part where it's in the middle, I might watch it all the way through. I do that with certain movies, like say Goodfellas, or where like, oh, it doesn't matter where it's at, I'll watch it from that point on, and I kind of got that feeling on here too. So, Joff, when you said you saw this movie, you said, where was this in your ranking again, Joff?
It's probably like, see, now that there's a lot more, this like kind of like, the initial reaction, because I really liked it, so the initial reaction died down. So like now I kind of have like, not be, prisoner of the moment kind of.
Mm,
It's still up there. It's, it's either Mask of the Phantasm or this one. It's just,
mm.
just depending on how you feel, like how I feel that in a given day. But 'cause, I'm probably gonna give it to Mask of the Phantasm because it's an easier watch.
Mm.
Oh, for sure.
So it's like, it's shorter, and plus, like, it's it's
It's got
animated.
Tia Carrere singing the,
Yup.
the theme song.
Yeah, it's probably, Phantasm, and then this.
Just real quick, I just wanted to mention that Phantasm for me is like, for the longest time, I held the Michael Keaton, Tim Burton Batman, the first one, as the ultimate one. That's just for me. That's just my ranking. But Mask of the Phantasm is almost in the same regard as that, where it's like that's my favorite animated comic book, property of all time. I've gave props to like Justice League, the Justice League stuff, like the newer
Mm.
Batman stuff that's
Yeah,
came out, but that was groundbreaking. And I remember being a kid, I believe on Christmas Day, going to go watch that with my family, like all us kids, you know. I know. Well, God, remember the theaters in Milpitas,
by
um,
Miller's
Town
Outpost or some
Center?
shit.
Yes, yes,
Oh yeah,
Town
yeah.
Center. Yeah, I remember watching that film there Christmas Day. I believe that was Christmas Day. But just watching that with my family, and I'm not talking about my mom and dad. I'm talking about my cousins. We're kids. We're just kids. The oldest kid is probably 14, 15 years old. Having to take care of the rest of the clan, right? But going to watch that movie was just awesome. Ninja, after watching this movie, where do you have it in your ranking?
In terms of like Batman movies, yeah, it's definitely up
Yeah.
there. And yeah, Massive Phantasm probably always will hold like a special place. for me,
Mm.
just because
Ooh,
it is
even for you,
actually.
huh?
Oh yeah, it's one of the few. It's one of the Batman. I mean, I watched that Batman movie over and over and over again. Like it is one of my favorites growing up as a kid, um, and I think the story overall is just really good. It's very like, you know, it explains who Batman and Bruce Wayne is, uh, very cleanly, very succinctly. Like a lot of people, I think, kind of don't really like to think of Batman as this rich guy who's just trying to avenge his parents, right? But there's a
Mhm.
lot of layers to this person, and one of the few times that Bruce Wayne actually is a developed character. Like for a long time, a lot of people like Dennis O'Neil, right? Like he'll always talk about how Bruce Wayne's the mask and Batman is
Mm.
the true identity, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
That is that, and that's been basically the take for a lot of people, and I get that, um, but the fact that they kind of made Bruce the main character rather than Batman, right? In Phantasm is even as a kid, I felt like that was a very good take on that to focus more on Bruce. As an adult, I'd rather I'd rather have obviously the flip, right? But as a kid, it's an easier in, I think, to
Mm.
come at it from Bruce Wayne's point of view rather than from Batman's point of view. But yeah, it's definitely up there. Like I love the Nolan Batmans. Obviously, they're definitely really well made and they're really good. Um, this one this one I think brings a little bit more humanity to Batman, because he's still angry, right? In this particular movie, it's year two. He's still learning the ropes,
Yeah.
but he's still really angry about what happened to his parents.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, it's really good, and just the movie itself, the way it's shot, the cinematography, the
Fucking
pacing.
badass.
I think for some people it might be a little too slow, and it is 3 hours of very
Yeah.
slow stuff. But I think the pacing for me, I thought was really cool. Some people have basically likened it to like Seven, and I can
Yep.
definitely see that if Brad Pitt was Batman, pretty much, right? If Brad Pitt Wrath was kind of like Batman, like he's not that angry, like Arpats is not that angry, but it definitely has those undertones and definitely has that feel to it. So I thought it was pretty cool.
Um, for me, man, this I fucking love this movie. I really, really love this movie. I've always said that that Michael Keaton Batman has always been my favorite, just because something that didn't seem like they can pull off. Even though I was 9 years old, 10 years old
Mhm.
back then, I was like, how are they gonna pull this off with fucking Mr. Mom, right? So to see uh, from 1989 all the way till now, it's like, wow, dude, you guys gave me a Batman that I've kind of like what Joff said, that I've wanted for a long time. Maybe I wanted this Batman. I didn't know I wanted it. I didn't know I needed this Batman. So in terms of rankings, I would say it's a 1A, 1B between the original Batman Michael Keaton, this movie, The Batman. I really liked you know the Nolan films too, just like what Ninja said. So I'm probably gonna have to put my third Batman as the Dark Knight. You know what I mean? But yeah, I walked away from this movie wanting to watch something else within the same vein. I was telling Joff off cam that maybe we can actually, when I get into my recos, I'm gonna reco a bunch of movies that kind of led me somewhere, because I think Ninja, I've talked about it here a couple times. I'm really into Southern Gothic type shit. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Backwoods type stories that have an element
True,
of
True Detective,
true
like
detective.
like
Yes.
probably a great example. In the
One
Garden
of the
of
oh man,
Midnight in the Garden of, oh
oh
crap,
yes,
I can't remember the
um,
name of it. It's some the mystery movie.
And
gone.
me and Joff also, well, actually, a lot of us here, we're into true crime documentaries and stuff like that. So I've been watching, um, stuff like that where, hey, people will be, I caught up on, dang, I forget now what town it was, but it's the WM3. It's about three guys that supposedly killed three boys, and they got sent to prison for almost 20 years, and they basically didn't get acquitted, but they were free
That's
because,
like Tennessee, I think.
yeah, man, it's a real famous case. I mean, even Johnny Depp, Pearl Jam has talked about it, but these guys, because there was no DNA testing back then, they didn't have the technology. It's more like, hey, he say, she say, okay, like you guys are guilty. One guy was even sent to death row. You know what I mean? One guy was even sent to death row. And these guys were only 15, 16 years old, when this thing happened. So, by the time they got out there in their 40s already,
Yeah,
they
West Memphis 3.
West Memphis 3. There you go. So like I've kind of been on this vibe, and I think the Batman actually started this. Joff had talked about how in your first spoiler review, Joff, you talked about it almost being like Seven,
Yeah,
and Ninja, you talked earlier about the pacing of the movie. From scene to scene, guys, the way that I felt anxiety. It
yeah. The
didn't
first
feel
time,
like a long movie. It did not feel like a long movie. It felt like, holy shit,
it's
I
like,
want to get to the next scene. And you
Yeah, yeah.
feel something.
yeah, you're
Like
tense. You're
Mhm.
you're
tense.
tense.
Yeah,
Oh man. I love it when movies make you feel like that way. It's not
Yeah.
like, oh, you're just watching something like I don't know if it's a what's a chemical that we love in our body that all of a sudden
Yeah,
makes us feel
endorphins.
something like that.
Dop-
Yeah,
dopamine, some shit.
dopamine. Yeah.
You felt something. Well, I felt something when watching this movie. Jeff was talking about the pacing being almost like Seven, and it just said, "Hey, I thought I was going to watch it in parts, but
Mhm.
I just watched the whole thing through. I like that tense feeling of what am I going to see in the next scene,
Yeah, what's
and
gonna happen? Yeah, yeah.
and the violence was justified. It wasn't just some superhero shit where he's just
Yeah, it's not.
banging
Yeah, it's
people
not.
up. Oh
Yeah.
That's why
man,
some people didn't like it because it's like they're
He's
expecting
angry.
some
Yeah, he's
action
angry.
adventure. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
expecting some action adventure shit.
Mhm.
You
I
know,
No,
think
it's
they were
definitely dark.
expecting.
It's
and
definitely
I think
dark.
they're I think
that
they were
dude.
expecting Ben Affleck type where Ben Affleck would just
Yeah.
show out of nowhere and beat people up. I think they were
Hmm.
expecting something
Yeah.
like that. So yeah, sorry, Joff, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, no, go ahead. No, I was just gonna say that dude in the gang that's getting initiated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the half face.
Yeah, I don't know which came first, but they actually cast that dude as Jason Todd in Titans.
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
So
really? Is that Jason Todd?
yeah, I
Oh
don't know if
shit.
it's related. I don't know if it's like
Uh,
I don't know if it's just
oh that's
coincidence
interesting.
or
hmm.
it just happened. I'm like, oh, and I know like, I read a lot of backlash about that scene because it was you know it's when an Asian dude getting harassed. They sell
Dude,
it,
I loved it.
and
I
I
don't know
was
about you
like,
guys.
yeah, no, some people are complaining like, oh, it's tone deaf. Like, dude, they probably shot that shit like a long time ago before
Yeah. Yeah.
before COVID or whatever, before everything
Hmm.
got shut down. So, and that's something that's like, man, we're not gonna reshoot this shit. Like, we're already behind production. You know what I mean? So,
It gave me a. It's funny. Liana was just like, "Oh, it's realistic," and we didn't say anything in a funny way or in a racist way. We're just like, "Oh, it's almost like acknowledging, like, yo, this is what's going on in our world today."
Hmm.
And then we see it in a fucking comic book movie. It's a fucking
Yeah.
Asian dude getting looking. He was a what's that? The knockout game. He almost got knocked out or something like
yeah,
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like this is about to happen. So I'm glad you brought that up, Joff, because that kind of stuck with me. Like, oh, dude, it's an Asian dude, and why not? It could have
yeah,
been an Indian dude. It
yeah.
could
It
have
could have
been
been
a
anything.
Mexican
It's
dude.
like
Could have been a
Yep,
white dude.
could have been a
yeah,
white
It could have
dude.
been. It literally could have been anybody. It actually kind of doesn't matter who it
yeah.
is.
He just happened to be there at that time.
Yeah.
they weren't choosing anybody. There's like
But that little kernel of truth though did enter my mind of it's a fucking Asian dude.
Mm.
You know what I mean? It's an Asian dude. So I'm happy actually though that Batman came and saved the you know what I mean? You saved the Asian dude, from getting
Hey,
fucked
even
up,
him, he was scared. He was like, "Don't hurt me." He's like, because he beat that shit out of that dude.
Yeah, he did.
Real quick, we're gonna get into our favorite parts, our favorite scenes, and all that stuff. But I wanted to ask you guys, or give you my thoughts, and then ask you guys. But I really, really fucking love the design of his costume.
Yeah,
I love how he almost has like a collar.
A collar. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
It reminds you of what Gotham by Gaslight in a way.
Mm.
You get little feels, tones like that. Joff, I mean, you draw and all that stuff. How'd you like the design, Joff?
It's cool. It's functional too, because uh, a lot of Batman suits, like the complaint is like they can't move their neck, right? If he's
Yeah.
fighting, he has to be able
Mm.
to turn and stuff like
Especially
that.
especially the Keaton one for sure.
Yeah, so that's functional right there. It has protection from like the vitals of his neck, and it still allows him to move around and stuff.
Mm.
So that's cool. But yeah, it's that's one of the things I liked about this Batman, because like he could move. Like when he was in the club, like it seemed like he was moving to the beat. Like he had some swag when he moves. Like it's not like he's not stiff. There's some fluidity to his motion. That's kind
Mm.
of what I like.
Hey, he has that walk. He has a Batman walk, also, huh? It's a badass walk.
So
You know,
here's the thing. Here's the thing about the movie. Like 20 minutes into it, I was in another chat and I was like, "Why is everyone, especially Batman, why is everyone so slow? Like they walk so
it's
slow in this
badass.
movie.
I
It's
liked it.
like every single
It was
time
different.
Batman walks into the scene, it is just thud, 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 and I was just like, "What is this? So weird." Like it
I
was
dug it.
just something that I noticed, and I thought that was actually kind of
It
funny.
Yeah, it made him seem like a weirdo too. Like the cops are looking at him like, who's the
Yeah.
fuck?
Yeah, that
They,
hallway scene,
Oh
like
yeah.
yeah,
that
Huh.
very first, yeah,
yeah, they look
It-
at him like he's a weirdo, dude. Like, and he
which is
kind of
which is
acts
actually
like,
kind of cool. He
yeah,
is,
and he
he
kind of
is.
acts
It's
like a
year
weirdo.
two,
Yeah,
yeah, year
Well,
two. They don't really know who he is,
yeah,
and it definitely gave me like Gotham Central vibes
yeah,
because a lot of the cops in Gotham Central don't like Batman.
yeah.
Like they actively hate him. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Ninja, just to piggyback off the walk. That walk reminded me of there's this one scene in Inglorious Bastards where I believe it's Eli Roth, or
Uh,
he walks out of the tunnel with a bat,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and where you just hear a noise, and he did the Batman walk against the I don't know if that's a Joker gang or whatever. In the beginning of the
Yeah,
movie,
whatever those guys are. Yeah.
it's just darkness what
Hmm.
they're looking at. Then all of a sudden you hear a walk, and all of a sudden it was almost kind of like a fucking horror movie, Joff. This
yeah.
guy
Because
just comes out of nowhere, like
like
holy shit.
it's cool because like his narration, right? It's like they don't know where I am, because like once they see the signal, it's like, oh shit, like it could be
Yeah.
anywhere.
Could be anywhere.
And
Mhm.
he's all like, they think I'm hiding in the shadows, and then like and then he said, I am the
I
shadow.
am the shadow.
I am
Yeah.
the shadow.
Okay, I will have to say that as badass and serious of a character he is, I don't know if some of these things are unintentionally funny or if they are intentionally funny because some of these things are so over the top, like the narration stuff, right?
He
Like some of
didn't
the
do
stuff
it a
that
lot. He did it in
no,
the beginning.
right, because he's writing in a journal,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like that's what's going on. But when he's doing that stuff and then he goes, "I am the shadow," I'm like, what? So it's so weird, but part of me is like, maybe it's because it's year two and he's trying to establish
Yeah,
himself.
yeah.
So he's writing like that to try and get in that headspace. That's how I kind of see it, and that's why he's kind of goofy in a lot of ways. I
He's
feel.
because he's a weirdo. He's like he's
How old is he supposed to be in this movie? High in between? What's up, buddy?
Probably 26, 25, 26. I would imagine.
Dude,
Because
he's
canonically, he's usually 29, right?
If you've seen the Batman, first of all, guys, I know we got people coming in, but if you've seen the Batman, we are talking about the Batman spoilers at all times. If you've seen it, please join us in the discussion. Write down your comments below. I'll address it here. If you happen to be on Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, go ahead and type your comments and we'll put it up on the screen so we can get some engagement going on. Again, we're talking about the Batman. We're talking about, well, we were talking about the costume designs and,
yeah,
his first
Yeah,
entrance of
I like
walking
the
in.
logo.
You know what they got really, and this is a part that I don't know. This is me being nitpicky, but the ears are perfect on this Batman. He looks like a fucking drawing.
and
You know what I mean?
I like the cowl. It has it
Yeah,
has weathering. Like yeah,
Mhm.
it has he has
yeah.
nicks. It has nicks and shit like that. I was like, all
It
right,
looks like he actually made it. Like he actually took some leather and actually like sewed stuff. Because if you look at the nose,
yeah,
it looks like he sewed some shit together to make the nose part of it. So that was actually kind of cool.
And I love, maybe for us comic book fans, we'll notice this, but his cowl almost looks like how people would draw Batman in the comic books. How it would have that cut
yeah,
hair.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
Mm.
And it just, man, what a badass mask. A lot of people are comparing it to Arkham Asylum, the video game,
yeah.
Batman with the
Like
Arkham Asylum games.
the upper body. It's like that's how he could move and stuff.
Hmm. But I thought it was very unique, and it's probably, again, a lot of people have their, what's your favorite Batman? Who's your favorite Batman? With your favorite bat suit and all that stuff. Uh, just because I think this is a young Batman, a year two Batman,
Yeah,
like I'll put this up there. If we think about though the Nolan movies, they did give him an origin. That's basically like a year one Batman, right? That we're looking at. Even though he had the money and all that stuff to design a suit like that, I'm glad
Mm.
that
yeah.
this suit felt more like,
Utilitarian, I
Yeah.
wouldn't say, because he had so much
oh,
equipment. He had so many
yes.
equipment. He had a lot of things that he like I said, the logo is like
It's
his batarang,
functional. It's
right?
like
Yeah, everything's functional. Yeah, I thought that was really cool. He had like the wrist guard thing that
yeah,
pops out with like the grappling hooks and all
yeah.
that kind of stuff.
His grappling hook looked very cool too. It looked like a gun. It looked very old school. Like, it wasn't. It did nothing looked super high tech, even though
Right. It
it
wasn't
is.
quite there yet. Yeah.
Mhm.
Dude,
Mm.
he's such a dick to Alfred, dude.
That's
He's
why I was like, "Ooh, I like the relationship." It's a young Bruce Wayne being a
yeah,
jerk,
he's
right?
just like
Yeah, and
and
he's angry. He's
yeah,
again
and
angry. He's angry at everything.
I like Andy Serkis's Alfred, dude. It was like
Yeah, me too.
when there's like a couple of like there's a few scenes that I felt like gut punches, right? Like when he
Hmm.
first saw the kid and he was just
Yeah.
staring at the kid, right? And it was like, oh man, that's you know that sucks. And then when Alfred's watching his footage
Oh, love that.
and he saw
Love
the
those
kid
scenes.
and Alfred was just like, oh fuck, you
Yeah.
know.
Like
It-
that's how he understands why
yeah,
he's kind of like
yeah, it's just some subtle shit, and he's a creep towards Selena, fucking
Yeah, he was a. Oh, and I wanted to talk about, when we get to those parts, I do want to address that stuff. But when you guys were talking about him being a weirdo,
he's a weirdo, dude.
um, thank God for HBO. They put out some of the little behind the scenes stuff,
I haven't
and
seen the behind the scenes yet.
oh, cool. Well, Ninja, did you happen to check out any of the behind the scenes
no, I
stuff?
haven't checked out the behind the scenes.
Well, they talked to Matt Reeves, and he talked about his influences on these movies and the character and all that stuff. He had talked about.
He seemed like a Batman fan too. That's kind of
Oh
what
yeah,
it felt like this
I
is.
I highly suggest you watch the behind the scenes stuff. They have it all on HBO Max in the extras section. So yeah, go ahead and check that out. But some of the stuff there that I really liked was, he said that they patterned this Batman off of Kurt Cobain and how Kurt
Oh
Cobain
yeah, yeah, yeah.
kept
I
a
read that.
journal
Yeah,
and all this stuff. So I loved even, I was like, oh, that's cool. Batman's journaling. You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like he's in
I
here.
believe Kurt Cobain was also a huge Batman fan.
Mm.
That's kind of the reason why they also did that too. I think.
He said he was influenced very much so by Gus Van Sant's Last Days, I believe, which is kind of a movie about Kurt Cobain, about a rock star, but they don't really say it's Kurt Cobain. So he said that movie really touched them, and they wanted to bring elements of that movie into Batman and all this stuff. So um, it kind of made sense when all of a sudden it's like, hey, the only song they use there is a Nirvana song,
Nirvana song. Yeah.
which fucking worked so well. And not only that, they took parts of that music and they made one of the dopest Batman themes.
Yeah.
Like the score for this is dope. They actually talk about the score, about
Hmm.
how
Yeah. Yeah.
when they made the score, Matt Reeves, like, he's like, dude, you gotta listen to this. Like they didn't even choose their Batman yet, but they had a piece of music. So I guess for, shout out to R. Pats, man. You know, he came a long way from, being made fun of on things like Twilight and all that stuff, man. He could be my favorite.
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter. He could be my favorite. I love the scene, Doug, where he's putting on the eye makeup. It's in the very beginning.
Oh
But I
yeah,
guess during the audition, they played that piece of music while he was in a red room putting black makeup over his
Hmm.
eyes.
Yeah.
You guys know I'm a big Robert Smith fan. I love The Cure. You know what I'm saying? I loved how he kind of gave you those gothic vibes of like, dude, this guy he's all chilling, Joff at home with the black makeup. Like he could have washed his face already, but nah, he's just there with this
yeah.
black makeup.
Alfred told him, "Take a shower, fool."
Take a shower. Take a
Yeah,
shower.
and he's like, nah,
I, you know, I do also like how he's like in street clothes as he's
Yeah,
walking around the
yeah,
city. I thought that was actually kind of cool. And then he's like
that
in
was
some random
badass.
bathroom putting on the costume or something.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was pretty interesting. Those little details.
yeah, or like, yeah, it's some subtle stuff like when it was in the morning when they're having breakfast and he can't really look at the light.
Hmm.
Yeah,
He's like, oh man, so he put on his fucking shades, and it was in the morning.
Yeah.
So it's like little subtle stuff like that. This fucking
man. I mean,
asshole.
I love the fact that they talked about too, like leaving his hair long. They didn't want him to have the typical Bruce Wayne short haircut. They're like, nah, let's leave his hair long. So I love that it was kind of tousled. And he has his black makeup on, and he's here trying to
You
he's
can't
fucking
have cool
solving
hair under
crime.
that cowl, dog.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love
It's
it.
sweaty and shit. It's raining
Yeah.
too. Gotham's fucking miserable. It's raining.
Oh,
Yeah, and the fact that he puts zero effort into being Bruce Wayne at this
Yeah,
moment, right?
yeah.
Like at this moment, that is
mhm.
not his
He doesn't
priority.
care, dude. He
He
doesn't
doesn't give a
care.
shit. Like he's not the playboy Bruce Wayne yet, right? He has like he can't even put the mask on. He has like he has zero care
Yeah,
about
he
being
told Alfred. He's just like, I don't care about that shit. He
yeah.
told Alfred,
So
I'm
you
like,
need to talk to your board members or whatever the fuck they
yeah,
were, right? Or
yeah,
accountants or some shit like
yeah.
that. And he's like, I don't care about that. You could lose it all. I don't care. He just doesn't care. I thought that was kind of cool.
You're not my father, Alfred.
Yeah, that was pretty
Fucking.
brutal. Pretty brutal.
Or when he was giving him the cufflinks, it's like, you're still a
Yeah.
Wayne. How about you? Are you a Wayne, Alfred? It's like your father gave it to me. A dick, dude.
Why are you being such an asshole, dude? Such a piece of shit, man.
I love it. It's that emo. What's up,
Yeah.
Rambo? How are you?
Yeah,
We're talking about the
he's
Batman.
emo, dude.
So if you want to comment down below, I'll read your comments out to the fellas here. If you happen to be on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, if you guys write your comments in, we'll go ahead and put it on the screen. Again, we are talking about the Batman. Probably also talk about Moon Knight, other things that's going on in pop culture. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I really love, man, Arpats did his fucking thing, man.
Mm.
He got me with the last movie I watched of his was that was the guys that did Uncut Gems.
Oh yeah, Good Time.
Good Times,
Yeah, he's a
and
scumbag there, dude.
I fucking love that movie. I
Yeah, I
was just
saw that.
like,
I was like, oh shit,
you know,
okay, he could.
he's fucking
Yeah,
amazing
he's
in
good.
that movie. So to see this dude, I was just like, fucking. I remember after the movie, I was like, fucking R Pats, dude. I was like, you made a fucking believer out of me. Like, this is fucking badass. That you get an emo Batman. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to see no emo, fucking emotional dude. It's like, no, this dude is damaged, dude.
Mhm. Yeah.
He's fucked up. So to see him brooding at home with the makeup on, long tousled hair, trying to figure out this crime. I love also how him and Alfred are, they're fucking going through these puzzles together.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Alfred fucking trained this fucking dirtbag,
Yeah,
fucking, almost son of his. You know what I mean? But I believe they alluded to maybe Alfred being in the military of some sort.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's canon, right? Like
Rambo
in
is saying,
the
SAS. He's
say
SAS.
in the book.
Rambo is not a fan of this Batman. He goes, yuck, the new Batman is whack. He should have
Yeah,
stayed
you're
in
whack,
Twilight
boo.
instead.
Get out of here.
You know what I mean? So yeah,
Hey,
Yeah.
man, it's not for you.
it probably won't be. Yeah, it's
all
probably
good.
not
It's
for
all
you,
good. You
man.
don't like
You
it.
know, but
You
we
know,
we love this movie. We completely
it's
love this movie.
it's all good. You don't like it. You don't like it. You know.
I mean, again, objectively wrong, but sure.
Yeah, you're wrong, but
But you're allowed to be wrong.
But I
some
was gonna
people like
say,
vanilla ice cream.
Like
some
like
people like
for
like
some
French
people,
vanilla with pralines, right?
yeah.
Some
Like
people
I haven't really heard. I mean, obviously, this movie a lot of people really like, right? And the only stuff that a lot of people didn't like about it, like I've heard people didn't like it, and it's like why? And
because it
one
was
person I
long.
know, is not a Batman fan in general, which makes no sense to me because as a person, the way he describes superheroes and stuff like that, he should be a Batman fan, but he just doesn't like Batman for whatever reason. And another person said that he just found it boring. And I'm like, okay, yeah, then there's really nothing that can make it,
Yeah,
interesting to you if you thought it was boring, right? Like,
he's
obviously,
probably
you're just, yeah,
he's probably
Uh,
expecting action adventure type shit.
yeah,
We'll see. I got a reply for you, Rambo. He was saying, "Come on, it was 3 hours long." I'm glad it was 3 hours long. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like, I'm glad. I'm glad.
Yeah,
yeah.
This is a thriller. This is a
Dude,
detective
Marvel
movie.
movies,
You know what I'm
Marvel
saying?
movies are 2.5 hours long. You're getting an extra 30 minutes of storyline, that I I mean if that is the reason why you didn't like it, then I mean that's on you. That's
yeah.
on
Fucking
however you
It
Infinity
look
had
at it.
War
But
is
elements of
like
things
three
we
yeah,
loved.
hours.
those
Yeah.
movies are 230 to 245, right? Like especially Infinity War and
Yeah,
Endgame and
that's
all.
3 hours.
A lot of
Endgame
those
is three
movies are
hours.
almost 3 hours. I don't know if Endgame was actually 3 hours, but I mean it is way up
Two
there.
fifty or some shit.
I'll
Yeah.
say this. I
So
mean, in this movie, you got a crime movie, you got a gangster movie. With the
yeah,
crime, the mafioso
mafias.
types.
Yeah. Mhm.
You got a mystery movie.
Yeah.
And yeah, you got elements of comic book
Of
stuff in
horror
here too.
and
Horror, I'll say.
romance.
So they
Just a
gave
little bit
you,
of everything sprinkled in. Yeah.
and maybe a little bit of comedy too. There were some funny parts
hmm
in there. You know
Yeah,
what I
no.
mean?
When Batman and Selena and Selena and Catwoman are talking to each other, there's
Yeah.
parts of there that just made me giggle because it's so silly. But
Rambo
that's
Because
kind
was
of
saying,
Batman.
he's so awkward. He doesn't know how
Yeah.
to talk to people.
Yeah. But that's
uh,
Batman, right? Like it's a
Yeah,
mixture of serious, especially after the '80s, after Frank Miller's Year One.
yeah.
It's he is a mixture of just over the top silly and
mm,
downright serious, like depressing darkness. So
Rambo here is saying, yes, we all have different opinions. I'm more of an action fighting scenes. The Batman has too much fighting scenes. We didn't
too
think
many
so.
fight scenes? I don't think so.
Dialogue
I think there
throughout
were
the middle of the movie till the end, or maybe saying
uh,
too much
too
dialogue.
much dialogue. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, and that's
That's
fine. That's fine.
that's
But
what we
for
wanted, actually.
I
yeah,
think for us, and for me specifically, it kind of harkens back to the animated series.
yeah. Exactly.
Mhm.
He is
That's how it felt.
literally talking and investigating and dude, he's called the world's greatest detective,
Yep.
Yes,
right? Like
yes.
literally, he's called the world's greatest detective. Like, and how many times in any of his movies does he actually do like detecting? Like they do some detecting here and there. They do little things here and there, but they don't real like he's actually going through like Zodiac killer kind of stuff, trying
Yep.
to figure out a
Yep.
puzzle, trying to piece things together, trying to figure out why is this guy targeting these bad guys? What's up with that? He's trying to get to the middle of it. I mean, in Batman Begins, I mean, he has a fucking computer that analyzes bullets as they shoot concrete. I'm like, okay, that's cool technology and stuff like that, but that's not really him using his
Yeah.
brain, right?
And
And
detecting.
he's not really detecting.
Hey, man.
He's using
Stupid
technology,
people
which is
don't like
fine.
dialogue.
I mean,
What can you do?
that's fine. That's fine. That's that kind of Batman, right? That kind of Batman. He's literally using his money to do stuff, and that is also a side of Batman that we've seen. This is a different side where he's trying to figure stuff out, and this is the Batman I wanted.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah,
This is I
exactly.
keep saying he's the world's greatest detective,
Show him fucking do
but he's
detective
never
shit.
detecting. Yeah, he's never detecting anything. So
Because
when
they're doing
when I
action
watch this
adventure
movie,
shit. It's fucking dumb.
yeah.
And I think in the
I
last
I
couple
wouldn't
of
say it's dumb. I think it's fine, but but there are other aspects to explore for him, and I enjoy and I appreciate that they explore that in this movie.
besides maybe the Nolan verse where just violence is justified, I think the Ben Affleck Batmans that they gave us these past couple of years, or even just a lot of the DC movies, they're chasing Marvel. They're
Yes.
chasing Marvel with
Yeah.
these fight
100%.
scenes, these action
Yeah.
scenes that don't mean shit. So or maybe it's the fact that we're first of all, we're comic book fans. We read. We've been
Yeah.
reading since we were fucking 4 years old, so we love dialogue. We love that we get to see elements of Frank Miller's stuff. David
Frank Miller,
Mazzucchelli,
David
right? His stuff.
David Mazzucchelli.
Mazzucchelli,
Yeah.
there we go.
It's also got a
Those
little bit of Long
elements.
Halloween.
Yes.
He's just like
Yeah.
explosions, dude. What can you do?
Yeah, the Michael Bay stuff, right? It's that Michael Bay way of thinking. It's like, oh, it's Transformers, like it's a bunch of action, but it's like, dude,
Here
is
you
there
go,
story?
dummies.
Is
Fucking
it
look
good?
at shit go
But
boom.
I mean, honestly, there's a time and place
Enjoy.
for all of that, right? Like I enjoy that stuff too. I do. And
Yo.
if this new Batman was
Oh,
more
shit.
action adventure, I'd probably be fine with it. But the fact that they gave us this take, is what makes me go, oh, I think this is a really good movie.
I'm gonna bring up another character in this movie. We're about 45 minutes in. This is probably my second favorite character out of the entire. Maybe I'll put him behind Heath Ledger, right? Maybe behind Jack Nicholson and Heath Ledger, but fucking Paul Dano's fucking Riddler was fucking. I fucking loved it. Again, all of us here, we're fans of true crime. I'm a fan of serial killers, the Zodiac killer, the Night Stalker. These are things that I grew up with as a kid and was scared of. That was happening in my own backyard. You know what I mean? The Zodiac killers. He never got. They never caught him either, right? So,
Yep. Unless you think it's Ted Cruz.
dude, when they first showed pictures of the Riddler, before the movie came out, I already
Yeah, it
knew
was
where
like, oh shit.
I already knew where this was going. I was like, oh shit, I need to buy that mask. Joff, I'm a fan of masks and costumes.
It's on the
Oh,
it's on his
man.
Discord
Yeah,
where he got it.
dude, I love that.
Got-
How he had a Discord.
Yeah.
Gotham,
I actually
right?
paused it. Yeah, I actually paused that
it's
scene.
it's a
to look at
Gotham
that Discord.
surplus store
Yeah,
where
yeah,
he
yeah.
got the winter
It's like,
masks.
dude, they have the cold winter combat mask over here. I was like, oh shit, this is dope. It's interesting that they tapped into like the internet, social media, influencer type stuff. I thought that was pretty interesting.
It was
Yeah,
funny
me
because
too.
when he makes a public appearance, like on video, he changes his voice, right? And then when he's on the Discord, it's like, "Hey guys,
Yeah,
Dude, that's awesome, right? Hey guys, I'm just
it's probably gonna be my last post for a
host.
while."
Oh man,
yeah.
so fucking cool.
Definitely
so fucking big
fucking
deal.
Tumblr over here. He's got his own Tumblr. Setting up his
Ninja,
blog.
how did you like Paul Dano?
Paul
It's called
Dano.
Dano, right?
Yeah.
how did you like his performance? His version of an iconic character.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, real quick, about it?
Really quick. So it seems like this is also like his first time doing something, right? Like when you first see him taking out the mayor in that opening sequence, he's kind of like trying to be scary, but he doesn't really know exactly what he's doing. I think part of it is he's running off adrenaline. He's like, "Oh, I'm really doing this." Like he's not actually scared. He's just, "Oh, this is what I'm doing now," And I thought that was an interesting thing. And then as you see him throughout the movie, it feels like he's getting more and more confident, right? As he's taunting Batman and trying to
Yeah,
fuck with his mind, the stuff that he's doing is, kind of goes up a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. Whereas that
Mhm.
first one is just, I'm gonna beat the crap out of this guy, and he's just like, oh, like he's taking that first step, and then once he took that first step, there's no hesitation anymore. He's just
yeah. He just doesn't have the
going.
reps yet.
Yeah, right, exactly. That first one, he kind of just felt like he wasn't too sure about it. Um, and then yeah, I thought that was really interesting. I thought that was a really interesting thing is that it's also his year one, year two, or whatever,
Mhm.
and and you can really feel that as the movie goes on. He's starting to get more and more into it, and more and really like planning stuff out and things like that. So yeah, I really enjoyed his take in general, and I really liked the take of the character in general, how they wrote him and all that kind of stuff. And I think it's kind of I think it's good that it was Paul Dano because Riddler
Mhm.
has never really been. He's not a powerhouse, right?
Yeah,
He even talks about it in the movie how he's using his
he's
brain
a
and stuff like
fucking
that. I mean,
nerd.
that's what he does.
Mhm.
Yeah,
He's
he's a
a
nerd.
fucking
He's a
puzzle
hardcore
nerd.
nerd. Yeah, I mean his name is literally Edward Nigma, right? Enigma.
Mhm.
So that's what he does. He does puzzles. He does mysteries. He doesn't beat you over the head with like well, I mean he does, right? In this movie he does, but what's his shtick is that he puts these clues out there, very much like a serial killer,
Yeah,
like a Zodiac
Zodiac.
killer kind of guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Joff, how'd you feel about this take on the Riddler?
it was cool. It's something different. It's because I don't really like the the Jim Carrey Riddler, like the
No,
flashy comic, like
no, he's basically Joker.
yeah, it's like
Riddles.
cartoon character
Yeah.
type shit.
Hmm.
And plus, when they did that, it was kind of like a it kind of Riddler kind of lends itself to being more like that serial killer Zodiac
Yeah.
shit.
Cerebral.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Joker is just chaos, right?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
Riddler is kind of like, all right, he's gonna fuck with you, like dropping clues, fucking with police.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
Uh,
so yeah,
for
it was
me,
cool.
my favorite version of the Riddler was it maybe a combination of two guys. I always loved the animated series Riddler. It's
Hmm.
a fun character. I love how he
Yeah.
would dress in the suit with the cane and all that stuff. Look really classy. But I
Yeah.
also
Very
like,
flamboyant. Yeah.
and he had cool puzzles and stuff like that. But growing up as a kid, I grew up on the old Batman TV series. So I got used to watching, is it Frank Gorshin or something like that? I forget his name. The original Riddler.
I
The
think
He'd
so.
have
Yeah.
animals.
his
The
hair
animals.
slicked
Yeah.
back,
Hmm.
he'd have on that funny jumpsuit. But I remember watching as a kid, like, hey, he would just keep fucking feeding Batman puzzles. And it's fucking Adam West here, figuring it out, like he always had the answer for these riddles. So I love the aspect of, hey, this guy is really giving you fucking puzzles. So
Hmm.
when you take all that and you mix it up and you put in a serial killer aspect to where, hey, we're not going to go goofy with the Jim Carrey stuff. We're going to go with something that's more grounded and almost fucking frightening. The first
Yeah.
scenes of, I believe, when he kills the mayor, he's
Hmm.
literally right behind him.
Yeah.
And just like Batman, you cannot see him at all. Hi Mishi, hi, kumusta? We're
Yeah, it
talking
was
about
creepy
Batman.
when you just fucking popped up there like
Dude,
with
so
his
badass.
Zodiac gear and shit.
And I love how you see the saran wrap wrapped around his head,
Yeah.
so he weren't to
Yeah,
leave
that shit
any,
is fucking weird. That shit fucking freaks me out. The saran wrap in the head.
so he doesn't drop any hair,
Hmm.
you know what I mean? Doesn't leave
Yeah.
any traces. But Paul Dano talked about he went crazy for this role because off
Yeah,
screen
he did the method thing again. Yeah.
he was wrapping his body in fucking saran wrap, and he'd
Mm.
be in his hotel room in full fucking gear. And he said that at one point he felt like he was going fucking crazy. So it's crazy how these actors,
Yeah, I don't
these
know
methods.
how. I will say this. I don't know how necessary that is. I mean, part of me appreciates it, but the other part of me is like, that's a little too method. You know, the Daniel Day Lewis school of acting. It's a
Anything to stay
little.
in the role, though, I guess, right? So you got to kind of give him,
No,
even
I
though
give him.
we probably wouldn't do it, right? But I think
I
that's
feel
kind
like
of
it's a
good.
little over the top. I do honestly feel like it's a little over the top to do stuff like that. But I mean, if it works for him, I guess.
I love how you brought up Daniel Day Lewis. Just a quick Daniel Day Lewis trivia thing I had found out. I
Mhm.
was reading up about gangs in New York, and Daniel Day Lewis, he likes to stay in character all throughout his movies and stuff. And in there, he plays the infamous Bill the Butcher. So he talked though about how he hated his hair. He hated the way he looked in there, and I believe as soon as the last scene was done, he shaved his head. But you know what kept him in that role? What got him psyched for that role? How he prepared? Daniel Day Lewis said that he listened to nothing but Eminem. He's listening to wicked Marshall Mathers. So Marshall Mathers somehow got Daniel Day Lewis to get ready for this role. And we're like, oh, that's kind of weird. But then
That is kind of weird.
I also think about how there's a bunch of psychopaths out there. Michael Jordan, for example, in one of his game-winning things, are like, dude, this guy's listening to fucking Anita Baker, and he's about to drop 50, and he dropped 50 or whatever. And I believe in The Last Dance too. Like, I think they're going to the championships. It's like game 2 or game 3. It's a crucial game. He's on the bus. He's like rocking out. Girl, who are you listening to? Do you remember this, Job?
Yeah, it's a new Robert.
Nah, it was
It's
what's
a
his
new R.
name?
Kelly. That's his boy.
Nah, it was
You got the advanced copy.
it was Kenny Lattimore.
Oh,
It was Kenny Lattimore, and he was like, "Oh, not even out yet." And he was just like,
fucking kid, he let him.
and he was just dancing, and I'm like, dude, this guy's that's what he's listening to get himself prepared for this game. So I love that people will find different methods. I believe, like Arpats too. He said that he looked at a lot of Kurt Cobain stuff, going into this movie. He definitely read a lot of the source material of certain books too. Same with Matt Reeves. He was like, dude, Matt Reeves talked about it. He goes, I went all the way back to 1939 and was looking at the
Mm.
comics to see what can influence me, how I can bring this into the movie. So I
Yeah.
love how they were able to take certain little things and try to make it work. You know what I mean? So for Paul Dano to be, saran wrapping his head, his entire body, singing in a hotel room, I was like, dude, you're not even filming. And yeah, Ninja said it's probably to the extreme. Like, why do that?
A
But
little too much, yeah.
man, I would say whatever he did fucking worked on screen because I completely love this character. Um, Joff talked earlier about how he had a menacing voice when he was on video, and then all of a sudden he's like, "Hey guys, it'll probably be my last post."
Yeah, he
And
had a voice changer. Yeah, he uses a voice changer in
yeah,
his videos and whatnot.
I love that because it humanized him.
Mhm.
Joff and Ninja were talking about, hey, this guy had his own Discord, and it's funny as
Yeah.
that was going on. I was reading the comments to see what
Yes,
Yes.
people
I
are.
paused it. I paused it to look at it. Yeah, it's
Yeah, and
very
people are
interesting
like,
stuff.
"Oh yeah, you can get that mask at the surplus store and
Yeah.
all this
Got
stuff."
got them surplus. Got them army surplus.
Yeah, and they're like, "Oh, it's called the winter mask or something like
It's like
that,
a
right?"
Yeah.
it's like combat cold weather. It's like a
Yeah.
cold weather combat mask or something like
I'm
that.
gonna go tomorrow to Stevens Creek surplus store. See if they have it there.
What up, Press Play? How are you? Shout out to our Lead X member out there, Press Play. We're just talking about the Batman. You know,
I
me, Joff, and Ninja here. So
actually,
how are you?
who I really like too is fucking Jeffrey Wright. He was a badass fucking
Oh, a
Commissioner
great
Gordon.
Commissioner Gordon.
Or
Well,
Yes.
Lieutenant Gordon.
Yeah,
Lieutenant.
And this
He
one,
was
What up,
he's
Press
not
Play?
commissioner yet.
yeah, this one really felt like there were
Press Play. If you
partners
wanted to join us, I can send you the
Yeah.
link. So just let me know.
because
Just give me a
you know,
thumbs
like
up. I can send you the link.
the other Batmans, it seemed like fucking Batman just telling Gordon what to do.
What to do?
Yeah, this one it actually felt like they're working together.
hmm
Sure. So,
Yeah.
You
Well,
were saying how
I
he was a
mean-
badass. He truly was. He's a good. You know, and I usually hate police in all forms, but Commissioner Gordon has always been the cop that dude. That's how a cop should be.
hey,
Right?
That's
I
how
know-
the cop should be.
I know
Yeah.
Jeffrey Wright is a great actor because remember he was in Shaft, right? The remake of Shaft.
Yeah.
With
Samuel.
Samuel Jackson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, I really thought he was Dominican. I really thought he was Dominican, fool. And I was
Oh,
like, oh
man.
shit. And the next movie I've seen him in was I can't remember. It's probably one of those James Bond, like because he was the CIA guy for, like the Daniel Craig James Bond or whatever.
Oh, Casino Royale.
Probably,
Yeah.
yeah,
He was in Casino Royale. He was backing up Daniel Craig in that movie.
yeah. And I was like, oh shit, that's the dude from Shaft. Yo, he ain't Dominican. Damn. But he was cool. Like, yeah, it felt like
What made this Commissioner Gordon or this Lieutenant this version of Gordon? Because I really loved. We're talking about method actors. I really loved what's his name. What's his version?
Oldman.
Yes,
Very Oldman.
he was. That to me was just like, oh, that's badass. I love that because he shows hey, I'm trying to be a fucking good cop here,
Mm.
you know, and all that stuff. And there was a pretty good partnership with him and
yeah.
Christian Bale's Batman too. So what did you like about this Lieutenant Gordon, Joe?
Yeah, he didn't seem manic. Like he just Gary Oldman wasn't manic too as commissioner, but he was. I just
He was
like,
a little weak, huh? He was a little Two-Face Harvey Dent.
yeah.
Remember,
yeah.
like when he told him, "Oh yeah, we called you Two-Face Harvey Dent."
now I gotta say this when you fucking because you said it was funny how because somebody put a clip of it. It just says it's just funny how when Joker was in the nurse's outfit,
What up, Booyah?
how come Two-Face never recognized him until he took off the mask?
Yeah.
Like, and that's when he fucking tried
Yeah.
to get at it. It's like, dude, you could really clearly tell it's the fucking Joker, you fucking idiot. But
He's a high. Oh, when he says he goes high. Oh my god. But that was I don't know why that Gary Oldman's, Two-Face Harvey Dent, when he admits that that's what they were calling him behind his back and stuff, I always found that scene funny. Just Two-Face Harvey Dent. Like, okay, fine,
I guess because I just like how Jeffrey Wright carries himself as lieutenant.
Mm.
He seemed like a real cop. All calm and chill and shit. And,
Hey, by the way, just real quick, you remember the other cop in that? He was the only other beat cop on there. I thought he might have been a scumbag, or they were going to turn him somehow, right?
Yeah.
Hey, he was the dude that fucking Bruce's fam. It's like, oh, Mr. Wayne, and fucking Bruce is just looking at his ass
At the funeral.
Yeah. Yeah, he was there, and he was the one who fucking with Batman when they found the fucking carpet
The carpet thing. Yeah. The bombs.
Yeah, he was everywhere. They got good mileage out of that fucking beat.
That actor, yeah. And not only that, but you have a lot of screen time.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine you're well, not to say he's a small time actor. I'm pretty sure he's been putting in his work. But dude, you get to go home to like, dude, look at me. Look at me on screen right now, dog, with
Yeah,
Batman. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Doing
Well,
that shit.
to me, Jeffrey Wright had like he was the one that made me laugh in the movie. It was just like when when like I guess because Batman was he grabbed something underneath the cage, right? And
Yep.
one of the CSI techs was all like kind of getting upset,
What up, Paulo?
and Gordon just says like he's wearing gloves. It's like,
No, he definitely had his back like the entire time.
yeah, or like when they went to the orphanage, Batman was like no guns, and Commissioner Gordon was all like, "Yeah, man, that's your thing."
That's your thing. Yeah.
Yeah, he had like little one-liners like that. It's like
Mm-hmm.
the thumb drive. It's like, oh man, this guy's hilarious.
Yeah,
That thumb drive.
He's basically Danny Glover.
Yeah,
One day till retirement.
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
It's like, oh. And he got upset because like the emails got sent to his fucking work account. It's like, oh,
Yeah. They know it's gonna be me. All that
Oh, it's
shit.
gonna be
Yeah.
me. I sent it out. Damn it.
you gotta catch hell for this.
Well, or the part where he lets Batman escape from the.
I was
from
gonna
the
bring that up
interrogation.
where he
Oh
takes a hit.
that shit is
Yeah.
tight when how they were talking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the way they were talking without really talking, right? It was just
Yeah.
like he's all, dude, here's a key. Punch me, you know what I'm saying? And then just it was really, really cool how they. Oh, and by the way, I love that scene. Batman escaping a fucking precinct,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, okay, we're gonna have like, how do you write that, or how do you be like, we're gonna have Batman, fucking escape from here,
Mhm.
Yeah, I really, really loved it. I love that whole escape scene.
And
It was
like
badass.
it's a little like detail. Like I like how he got fucking shook because he never really jumped off fucking buildings and shit.
That
When he
was
had
one of my favorite parts too, Joff, where he goes,
Oh, yeah.
"Whoa,
Yeah.
whoa!" That's the only time he seemed like human or even funny,
yeah,
right? Like,
he
oh
fucking
shit,
bit it
dude.
too. I
Oh yeah,
he fucking bit
he
it.
did.
I got like, oh shit, this motherfucker walked away.
And not only that, but
It's wild that he has a wingsuit just attached to him like that.
but Ninja, when he fell, Ninja, I felt like, oh yeah, he's year two Batman.
Yeah, he fucks up.
He doesn't know yet.
Yeah.
he's
Not
not as
bad guy
refined.
yet. He's not bad guy.
Yeah,
Which is kind of
yeah,
cool.
yeah. I liked it too. I like that. I mean, he was, and maybe those were the only times he was getting his butt kicked or it showed him almost kind of like well, there's this one scene in one of Nolan's Batman films where I think Christian Bale's on fire. You know that scene, and he jumps out the window because he's on fire. I think the toxins got in, then he's just hella scared on the ground, like, oh shit, he's freaking out. But you like to see your superheroes fucking vulnerable. You want to see these guys take hits, and how they come back from that. So for our pets to, get hit like that. What's up, Christine? How are you? We're talking about the Batman. So spoiler alert, we're talking about the Batman. But yeah, if you want to comment below, go ahead and comment below. To the people that's watching us also on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, let us know in the comments too. So yeah,
Fucking Colin Farrell too. It's fucking funny.
oh, he was the guy that I was gonna bring up. How did you, Ninja? Let's start with you real quick. How did you like this version of the Penguin?
I thought it was interesting because the Penguin, mostly in other depictions, even in the cartoons, has been kind of, I don't know, kind of weak, Like
He's
he's
a
all about it.
socialite.
Yeah, he is, right?
Yeah.
But I thought it was interesting that they made his disfigurement is I'm like, you have no idea how he got his face, right? But it's all scarred up and wild looking. And he's not really like a pushover. Like he doesn't really fight or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't really back down, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like Oswald Cobblepot and like other things. Well, besides Danny DeVito's Penguin, I think, but in like all other aspects, he's kind of a pushover. He's kind of like a whatever kind of guy, you know. He has these weird gadgets, but he's mostly got all his henchmen to do things for him. Like he doesn't really do anything. Whereas in this one, he's kind of like
He's middle management here.
yeah, and but you are actually kind of like you're invested in this character and what he does. He's not weak in that way, right? Like in other depictions, I feel like he actually does feel like he can do something, whereas in the other ones, he's in other portrayals, he's kind of like a whatever villain to me. So I enjoyed this take as well. A little
Joff,
bit more
what about you?
serious.
It was, yeah, fucking Colin Farrell is cool, and he was comic relief too, but I mean, I'm sure it's intentional, but it's not supposed to be, you know, fucking world's greatest detectives over here.
Yeah.
Like, don't speak Spanish.
Yeah.
What
That
up,
part
Tito?
was definitely hilarious to me.
He's fucking clowning them.
We're talking about the Batman real quick, Tito. So spoiler alert. You haven't seen it yet. You know, we're talking
You
about the
guys don't
Batman.
know the
Talking about
difference between La and L.
An L? Yeah.
Fucking, you know, that 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 chase scene gave me anxiety because it was like, it's like,
badass.
because it was raining. That shit gives me fucking, like, you driving fast in the rain. It's like, dude.
So here's the thing about that chase scene, though, and this is probably my only real knock on the movie. Again, third act action sequences and stuff
They
like
had
that.
to.
It's like, yeah, but dude, he's blowing up cars on a freeway. Like, how many people died in those cars, dude? Like, how many innocent people died right there? Like, holy shit, dude.
Yeah.
Like, the whole time I'm sitting there, it's like, dude, you're in between these two trucks, and he flipped one of those trucks flipped and exploded, and then he drives right through the flames to go capture Penguin, and I'm like,
He hasn't had this transformation yet.
no, I know, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
but as a hero,
Yeah.
you just did that, like, or you were partly responsible for that, because I mean, I know Penguin is responsible for that, right?
Yeah.
Like, because he brake checks one of the trucks and causes the crash and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, and this is kind of the reason why people have been like talking about, like, you know, maybe police shouldn't be doing high-speed chases, you know, because it's kind of dangerous, is because accidents do happen. People do get killed in the middle of these police chases, and it's not the bad guy and it's not the cops. It's innocent people who get caught in the middle, you know.
Yeah.
This is just the worst possible outcome of what a high-speed chase could be. Other countries don't do that. Other countries generally use like only helicopters, and they don't have a ground unit doing stuff like that. So yeah, I just thought that was actually kind of funny. Like, yes, was it anxiety inducing? Sure. But for me, it was mainly because I was like, oh my God, so many people just died.
Yeah, mostly because it was raining. The fucking road is wet, man. And traction is fucked up.
Now, I'm pretty sure he has all-weather tires. I'm sure it's fine.
But what do you think about the Batmobile, though? Did you?
Fucking loved it.
I thought it was
Fucking
cool.
loved it.
Yeah.
You know,
He
just
stole
real quick. Just real quick, let's go back to the. I just wanted to get off my Penguin take.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah. Go ahead.
I love this version. Colin Farrell did a fucking amazing job. It reminded me of Al Capone in The Untouchables. You know, you get to see.
Okay. Yeah.
It's fucking just like, dude, this movie took things that are goofy. I love the Penguin. Even his goofy, fucking multicolored whatever.
Monocle. And shit.
Yeah, I love the Penguin. But man, they gave me a version that I didn't think I needed, but I'm glad I got, because you got a gangster dude.
Yeah,
you got
he's a gangster. He's a gangster.
You got a gangster guy. You know, you got a mafia dude, and you got somebody that's, you know, how you talked about, the world's greatest detective. You know, like
Yeah,
he's in there with those jabs, like, dude,
yeah.
No, he's
we out
definitely
here. I'm
he
not
talks
scared of the
shit.
cops.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's like, I'm not scared of the cops. We're out here, you know. And not only
Mhm.
that, but his iconic location, right? Is it the
The
Iceberg
Iceberg
Lounge?
Lounge. Yeah,
You know, so for and you know, he always has those in the comic books. He would have like a Twiddledee Twiddledum with him. So I love how he had the
That's
twins.
the
You
twins.
know,
Yeah,
you know that was a very cool aspect. But man, if if you didn't tell me that was Colin Farrell, I think maybe they shouldn't have let people know that was Colin Farrell. They should
yeah,
have just left that in the credits, like
yeah.
where you'd have to
I
say,
think
like, "Oh
they
shit,
should have done the Tom Cruise in Tropic Thunder thing where they
yeah."
didn't point
yeah.
out
They
who
don't
No,
that
tell you who
was.
it
They're
is.
just yeah.
because they were doing their their press tour and shit. So Colin
Oh,
Farrell
true.
has to.
All right, let's get to. Oh well, you know, before we touch on, you know, my take on the Batmobile, it was almost like Stephen King's Christine.
Yeah, that's. Then they referenced that. That's what they
Yeah,
wanted.
and as soon as it came on screen, you had that feeling of like, oh shit, that's an evil car.
Yeah, because
But
like,
not
what the
only,
fuck?
but not only that, I got this Ninja. You might be able to appreciate this, right? Like, you know, we've been watching fucking Fast and the Furious now for like fucking 20 years, right?
Yeah.
So you kind of get a vibe of, you know how they show Batman, like, you know, it's a driving scene.
Mhm.
That could have been fucking Vin Diesel, could have been Paul Walker, could have been whoever,
Sure. Yeah.
but instead it's fucking Batman. You know,
Mhm.
it's just his cowl. You see the window and
Yeah.
him speeding through. So I love that it's not the Batmobile that we all love and know. It's a work
Mhm.
in progress. You know, it's probably
Yeah,
this has to be his first car. I hope, you know,
yeah,
and
he's
if,
working on it on his cave, on his, the back cave, which
oh
is
Yeah.
man,
You
and
see the engine just
I
taken
love it.
out on
yeah.
and all that. Yeah.
I love it. I just completely love this version of the Batmobile. Uh, any quick thoughts, Ninja, regarding the Batmobile?
No, I thought it was really cool. But I'm more about the
What up,
motorcycles.
Jab?
And when Joffrey was like anxiety because it's raining, the entire movie is raining and they're riding motorcycles. Like him and Catwoman are riding motorcycles throughout the city. That gave me anxiety.
That
That
shit
is
was
where
cool when
I'm.
he followed
That
her.
shit was that
Yeah,
shit was
at the
badass.
end. At the end,
Yeah.
yeah. No, there's definitely cool parts, but I'm just like, dude, it's raining and
What
you're
up,
riding a
Jab?
motorcycle.
We're
That
talking the
is
Batman,
so
real quick.
dangerous. Like
Well,
that is the
Ninja.
pretty much the only time I don't ride motorcycles is when it's raining.
I like how he perved out and shit.
Well, I was gonna say, guys, you know, it's a good transition that we're talking about Catwoman now.
Yeah.
What you got? Shit, Joff. What you think about this version of Catwoman?
I think they nailed it. You know, But, yeah, because like it's the right amount of like sexy, and then she could always kick ass, and then you can
Yeah,
feel that.
sexy and competent. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they have chemistry, like him and
Mhm.
Like Batman
They
and
really
Catwoman.
do. Yeah,
Yeah,
they
they
really
have
do.
chemistry.
Like,
It's not like it's different. It's not like with Bale and fucking
Anne
Hathaway's.
Hathaway.
Yeah,
Oh,
Catwoman.
that relationship was so boring.
Yeah,
So boring. Like this one is actually flirty. Like she's
yeah,
actually flirty, and he's kind of trying to be flirty. And
but he doesn't know.
half
He got no
half the
game,
time,
bro.
yeah, well, half the time or part of the time I feel like he does okay, but most of the time I feel like he's just kind of like I'm just gonna keep going with whatever I was doing before
Yeah,
you
it's like
tried to throw me
this is
off.
all I know, dude. This is all I
Yeah,
know. Kept calling
like
him
he's
vengeance.
yeah,
Like,
like he's not smart enough to. I feel like because his brain is just not there. Like he's
yeah,
very quick with all the puzzles and solving and problem solving, but when it comes to like
human
interpersonal
interaction.
relationships,
Yeah, yeah.
especially with another person, a lady, he's just kind of like, yeah, I he does have a couple of one-liners. I can't really remember them, but he does have a couple of them like towards the end where I just thought it was super funny. Like some of these stupid one-liners. Um, but yeah, overall, I just it's so dumb.
Do you like the character though, Ninja? How how you know, did they nail it for you? This version of Catwoman. Hi, Maybell.
Um,
How are you?
I mean,
We're
yeah,
talking
the
Batman.
second. The second they cast Zoe Kravitz, right, I was immediately put into the year one mold, right?
Yeah.
Like that was the mindset. That's kind of what I was thinking.
Well, she
And it,
insisted that too. That they kind of just took the panels of like Mazzucchelli's, like Catwoman from year one.
mhm.
They wanted to make it look like that.
And it
She
definitely
said she
has that
insisted.
feel.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
insisted
it
on
definitely has that feel, and she definitely plays her Catwoman in that way, where
Chica.
um, where she's like, like I said, very confident, very competent in what she does, right?
it. Yeah,
And they don't show too much of her being a cat burglar, but the stuff that they do show is, yeah, she knows what she's doing.
yeah,
She's been doing this. She knows what she's doing. She knows how to talk to men
Hi,
and how to throw
Viola.
them off. So, and that's kind of how Selena Kyle in year one is basically. She's that person. Um, and I thought, and yeah, I think they definitely nailed it. And she's definitely probably one of the more interesting Catwomans that we've seen. You know.
yeah.
Um,
She was
so
funny with Alfred. She's like, "Oh, you got a new friend?" And he was like, "I
yeah.
don't know yet."
I did like I did like this version, and again, I hate going back to the past and all that stuff, but the penultimate Catwoman for a lot of people was Michelle Pfeiffer's
Yeah, because she
Catwoman.
was she was way better than even Hathaway.
Hmm.
Oh, she's
So
definitely better than Anne Hathaway. Yeah.
so even though I still regard that Catwoman, Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman, as probably one of the greatest Catwomen we've seen on screen,
Mhm.
I'm definitely putting she there's been other Catwomans and stuff, but I'm saying this version.
Yeah. Your Julie
I just
Newmar, your Eartha Kitt
Yes,
woman.
I
Yeah.
just love the look, the
Mm.
year one look of
Yeah. The
a
beanie.
fucking a beanie ski
Yeah,
mask.
exactly.
You know
Yeah.
what I
Yeah.
mean? It looks
Mm-hmm.
so fucking good.
Yeah.
And even though Ninja brought it up earlier, they don't really show her doing too much cat burglary,
Yeah.
but they allude to it. They
Mm-hmm.
allude to her getting money.
Yeah.
And not only that, but Catwoman's always been in a way kind of the anti-hero of the Bat family too. You could
Yeah.
easily put her in the
Mm-hmm.
Bat family, right? So like, you know,
And that's kind of why Batman, I guess, allows her into his world, right? Because
mhm.
he sees her as a morally gray person, because she's not necessarily evil, but she's definitely not a good person, right? And so I think that moral ambiguity for him, a person who's very much this is a war against crime, it
um, you,
it, it, it kind of throws him. He doesn't really know how to deal with that.
I like how you guys earlier talked about, Batman didn't really have no game. I beg to differ. I beg to differ. There's this one part where he puts the contact lens on her and he's
Yeah,
like, "Come here," and he's just
sure.
staring at her eyes, and he's like, "Okay, you're good." I was like, "All right, dude.
No, no,
Yeah,
no, like no,
you're
like I said, I think there
you're
are
doing
parts.
that.
Yeah, there
Yeah,
there are points in the movie where
Yeah.
it seems like he's kind of
Well,
like
that's his comfort
where
zone,
he's
right? Like
where he's being
doing gear
flirty.
shit.
Yeah, but then he immediately pivots to what he's comfortable with, and it's the job, the
Yeah.
war. That's what he's comfortable doing. So he pivots to that, and that's kind of who he is. He hasn't developed any kind of personality for outside of being Batman yet. So
Yeah, that
um,
that
go ahead, Joff.
yeah, because that shit got me too at the end where like she asked him to come with her, right? But
Yep.
and she just realized like that's never gonna happen because like he says like he's already taken or whatever,
just
and
spoken
it
for.
yeah spoken for, and it kind of sucked for Batman too. I was like, oh
Yeah.
shit.
But I think that's part of what I mean. That's another part that makes this movie awesome. I feel like because it's very authentic to
Yeah,
the comic book character.
yeah,
Same thing with this specific Catwoman. Feels way more authentic, like very much Long Halloween Catwoman, right?
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
if you ever read Long Halloween, that's basically who she is. She's been doing Catwoman stuff in Long Halloween for a while, right? This Long Halloween is like a little bit set a little bit after year one, and you kind of see the origins of Selena Kyle, Catwoman, in year one, in Frank Miller's year one, but then you see a little bit more of her becoming Catwoman in
Mm-hmm.
in Long Halloween, and you kind of get that she's kind of established herself as
Mm-hmm.
a person who's doing stuff like this already. She's been doing this kind of stuff. You see her closet has all these tools. Part of it obviously is like sexy stuff, but then she has also all these other things for her to be a cat burglar and all that kind of thing. So it just felt more authentic to the character. Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman was fun, but she's not over the top cartoonish like
Mm-hmm.
that. I want to say, right? I don't know if that makes sense.
When Joff gave his, first of all, shout out sa lahat ng mga bagong pasok. Thank you guys for coming through. Talking about the Batman real quick. When Joff gave a spoiler-free review of this, he was like, "Dude, I don't know if these guys are like. It seems like they could be fucking off screen or something like the chemistry was there." So I was kind of expecting. Hi, Queen. We're talking about the Batman real quick. Pasensya na. You know what I mean? If you want to join, go ahead and comment below. So I was kind of expecting to see more. Maybe that stuck out for me, Joff. I was trying to see if there was more sexiness happening, in between the relationship between them, of Catwoman and things. So I was expecting more, but now kind of looking back at it, I do see like, hey, I think there was a right amount of flirtation, right amount of stuff going on in there too. So
Yeah, but you could
really,
really
really
tell
good.
they had chemistry, though. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, 100%. What's going on, Jason?
Not much. I didn't watch it yet.
All right, well we're talking about it, so sorry, dude.
It's all right. I don't care. I'll still watch it.
Hey Queen, how are you? ¿Cómo está? Thank
He
you for
dies
joining
anyway,
us.
dude.
Yeah, he dies anyway.
All right.
What do you call it? They, again, this, we're going through the characters and all this stuff. There's so many good characters in here. Fucking one of the great actors. I always, this actor, he's synonymous also with kind of being a New Yorker.
Oh, okay.
One thing I wanted to bring up earlier too was I love this version of Gotham City. Gotham has always been portrayed as the New York of the DC universe and all that stuff. But
New
they
York
really,
/ Chicago.
yeah,
Like it's a mixture of the two.
but they really play into it with this
With a
version
mixture
of,
of
yeah, I
Edinburgh
loved it.
or whatever.
Big
Where,
city, right? You get the big city feel. Yeah, there's still
and
some
then,
gothic
yeah, they got a lot. They shot,
tones.
yeah, they shot in Scotland, I think, for that. Like all the Gothic, the old fucking parts of the
But there
city.
were still parts that was bright
Yeah, yeah.
and looked like so that's what I kind of liked. It wasn't just, hey, it's a sad,
It's
dreary
Pittsburgh.
place. Yeah, right. They still make it look like, hey,
Pittsburgh.
this kind of looks like a San Francisco or a big city like New York, or
Yeah,
it
they
had a
had,
feel.
they had areas where it's like, oh, it's a different area of the city, different feel.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
John Turturro is the guy that I was gonna bring up. He plays
Carmine.
Carmine Falcone.
Yeah.
I believe
But
there was a version of Carmine Falcone in the Nolan version, right? Was that him?
yeah, yeah,
Where he's the one that gets tied up to the
yeah,
sign.
yeah. I
he
hated
is.
that
Yeah.
version.
Yeah. He wasn't that interesting. No.
No, he wasn't. And
Like
because
Sal
he's supposed to
Maroni
be
was.
a gangster, he's supposed to be a
Yeah.
mobster. So I love
Mhm.
how this whole character
Yeah.
that he came up with, you feel that. What's up, Denny?
Very,
We're talking
very
about the
threatening. Very
Batman real quick.
threatening.
Spoiler alert. Shout out to my man Denny.
and daddy
Host
got
up.
shot. Hey, you're Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. Yeah, this one definitely had some felt threatening, like
Yeah.
the way he talks. But I think that's also part of the fact that everyone is very slow.
Yeah,
and
because
very
he's calm.
deliberate.
You're just like,
Yeah.
because for real life people that are scary, you're just like, fucking matter of fact, like they'll tell you, yeah, I'll cut you.
Yeah.
Like
Basically.
He's a
not
fucking mobster. He's a gangster.
Mhm.
Somebody here earlier talked about, I wanted action. I wanted all this
yeah,
stuff.
that dummy. I'm kidding, bro. If you're silly,
All I'm
Rambo.
saying, all I'm saying is
yeah, dummies
you
like
got
explosions.
you got a crime movie out of this. Like
Yeah.
I love Goodfellas. I love fucking Donnie Brasco. So to see guys like John Turturro, Colin Farrell, guys that, I talked about Colin Farrell earlier, his version of the Penguin almost being like Al Capone, almost like a Robert De Niro type. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
I mean,
love
yeah,
John
it plays
Turturro in
off.
here. He was amazing in this movie.
Yeah, it plays off.
What's up, Greg? We're talking about the Batman. So sorry,
You know,
spoiler alert if you haven't seen the Batman yet.
it plays off how manic the Penguin was, and he's all calm and
Mhm.
shit. So it's a good, you know.
Amazing,
So
amazing.
one thing I did not expect was how they were going with the relationship between Carmine and um, Selena Kyle. Like
Ah,
I didn't think they
yes.
were going to throw that in there.
But that
That
was
is in that was in one of the books, and they never
Long
confirmed it.
Halloween.
Long Halloween, and then like there was actually
The
another
sequel.
story after that. Not Long Halloween or not Dark Victory. It was her own book. I think that was drawn by Tim Sale, where she goes off and tries to like look for something.
This Danny Grub
But
Life
they
is
never.
saying,
But
see,
either way, they
this is the
never.
thing, y'all. See, like Grub Life was like, oh, this is a new Batman with the vampire boy. Well, that's the thing. Watch the movie, and some people want the fucking brainless action scenes,
Yeah,
but
like I said,
we're
for
talking about
dummies.
this is a crime film. This
Yeah,
is
Yeah.
Seven. This
a
is,
detective movie.
a detective movie. This is a thriller. You know
It's
what I mean?
very.
If you like the
Yeah.
Zodiac killer and serial killers, this shit is for you. You know what I'm saying? And R. Pats did his thing. You know what I mean? So I'm just
Yeah,
saying, like, yo,
you like,
Yeah, it's very much a ground level kind of movie.
Can I say this real
Is
quick?
what it feels like.
what's up?
If you want to watch brainless action, then go watch Justice League. All right.
I think that's what the other guy liked. The guy that was here earlier, I think maybe that's what he liked. He wanted the big explosions, Michael Bay,
yeah.
Transformers type action scenes. But if you want something cerebral, we're like, oh
Yeah.
fuck, what am I watching here?
He likes that dumb shit. You know,
Yeah. But this
dummy.
this that mo- hold on, I'm trying to read Grub Life's thing real quick. But this that movie, yeah, it's a very good movie. I mean, we're
Yeah.
waxing poetic on it right now. I have it in my top 2 of Batman movies for me. It's
Yeah,
one A,
honestly, the
one B
only
for me.
the only knock that I've heard from people that I know is that they found it to be more boring than anything else.
Yeah, that's what everyone said. Oh, there's no
I'm like,
action.
but if that's the knock, then I guess there's nothing that can flip that around for you.
Yeah,
know?
because
Like,
is it? Why did it say it's boring? Because it's just more dialogue, or it's just a slow pace,
yeah,
or everything like the slow
They're
pace. It's a
they're
combination of everything.
they're expecting Christian Bale Batman. That's what they're expecting.
I mean, Christian Bale Batman wasn't even like John
Yeah,
Wick. It wasn't even John Wick. There was actual like stuff going on in between all the
exactly.
action pieces. I guess there was just more action than talking, I suppose.
But let's give it up for the Nolan films because they did ground shit in reality,
Yeah.
and those are also crime type. I mean,
Ish, crime ish.
yeah, I mean the Joker movie or the
Yeah.
Dark Knight, the one with the Heath
Sure.
Ledger. That's also a
Mhm.
gangster movie. If you look
Yeah.
at it from a certain aspect,
Mhm.
it's crime. But I believe with this version they gave you a crime movie. They gave
Yeah.
you a serial killer movie. They gave you, you got a weirdo like Paul Dano in here.
Yeah.
You got fucking Colin Farrell almost looking like Robert De Niro as Al Capone. You get
Yeah.
John
Yeah.
Turturro. You get fine ass fucking
Zoe
Catwoman. You know
Kravitz,
what I
yeah.
mean? Zoe
Yeah.
Kravitz. Yeah. So I mean, they give you those elements of like, hey, this is. I understand why this movie made a good amount of money. You know
Mhm.
what I mean?
And why a lot of people liked it. Yeah.
Yes. What's up,
If you're
Bazooka
a
Joe?
real
How are
Batman,
you? Happy
you
birthday
like
to my man Bazooka Joe too. Happy birthday to our very own Bazooka
R-
Joe. We're talking about the
Joe.
Batman.
Arcade Joe. Happy
Um,
birthday.
fucking Trike Patrol Joe out here.
Trike Patrol Joe. Oh man.
you want action, go watch Clooney
Shout out if,
Batman.
Shout out if you watch Trike Patrol. You feel me?
But yeah, I mean, I do tell people that it could be boring, right? This movie. When I recommend it to people, I'm like, okay, it could be boring for you. I don't know. For me, I just wanted to know what happens next, and that's why it compelled me to keep watching it, even though I was like, oh, I was planning on sleeping, and yeah, everything about it was very interesting to me. Like I couldn't stop watching it.
When Joff was gave us his spoiler review, he was saying, you're a big David Fincher fan, correct? So I mean, you get kind of elements like that. Also,
Yeah,
a little bit
you
of
definitely
Stephen
do.
King in there. For me, I got a little bit of
Mm.
Stephen King with the
Some of the
mystery,
horror and
thriller,
all that.
the
Yeah.
horror of that stuff. So, man, just an incredible movie. Which, honestly, like I do want to watch it again, but it's kind of like, Joff says one of his favorite movies is Seven. Probably one of my favorite movies too. But to watch that again over and over and over, it's hard because
Yeah.
that's there's a lot of things in there that even though we do know it's a movie and all that stuff, when you suspend your disbelief and you're like, yo, I'm watching something grotesque, this is a crime movie and all that stuff, it could be hard to watch. But I do want to go back and watch this stuff because again, I truly enjoy slow burn
Yeah, it's
movies
definitely
where
slow burn.
it's-
Yeah,
they fucking get you,
it is
so
definitely the definition of slow burn.
yeah, man. um they
Like they're
definitely,
not speed running anything in this movie at all. Like this is like anti speed running right here.
Oh, did you this is gonna be spoiler. That's little touches, right? Like they're probably setting it up for future shit. Hopefully, like you like that. It has to be Venom, dog. That fucking
oh
the
yes,
adrenaline, the adrenaline shit that he shot in this.
yeah,
Oh,
that was badass.
Oh, the adrenaline shot that he had at the end.
Yeah.
At the
Yeah, because it
Oh,
was
maybe.
yellow. It was yellow. It
Mhm.
was or
Green.
Was it?
green,
I thought it was,
whatever.
yeah, it was like green or blue or something like that.
I love that part, Joff. As soon as he did that part, I was like,
Yeah, beat his
You know,
ass, dude.
yeah, I was
Yeah.
just like,
He
yo,
fucking lost his mind, dog.
that's kind of fucking badass. I loved it. And I
I
know
thought it
that
was interesting that the suit had a built-in like
Port.
slot.
There's a port.
Like
yeah.
yeah, I was like, oh,
to
okay.
his abdomen.
Probably not the first time it happened.
Yeah, probably.
One aspect they had talked about was, I guess in the comic books, he did fuck around with that until his body started getting used to it or started craving it. So that'd be kind of cool if we see, those are human elements, addiction, right? These are things that humans
Yeah,
go
'cause
through.
he's
So
not. He's just a human. He's just human. He's not. He doesn't have superpowers and shit.
Yeah.
So why not, ground him with giving him something that might help him, right? Yeah, I totally fucking dug this movie. Again, after I watched it, it led me to a wormhole of other things to watch. So in my recos later, I'll give some of my recos, because again, even until now, I feel like, what's up, Mackie? What's up, Paps? What's up, guys? We're just talking about Batman real quick. Sa mga tao there on Kumu. If you happen to be watching us on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, go ahead and leave your comments below. We'll put them up on the screen. If you happen to be on Kumu, kumusta, pasensya na, we're talking about the Batman, so spoilers at all times. We're also going to be talking about Moon Knight also and other things going on in pop culture and comic books, sports, and whatever else is. So thank you guys for watching us. I was going to say, any last things with Batman that you guys wanted to bring up? One thing I wanted to bring up, this is one of the first movies where there was no Batman voice. It was just fucking...
That's his voice. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just his voice. It almost like, oh, that's kind of cool. It reminded me of the animated series, or it reminded me of even Michael Keaton's version where, hey, I'm just going to use my real voice, even though a little bit quiet and all that stuff. I'm using my real voice. I'm I don't have a voice change or anything like that.
The voice, it seemed like the voice that Batman's his real voice. The voice that they change is like Bruce Wayne. It's a little more high pitched and shit like that. You know what I mean? He talks like he talks like low like Batman, and when he's Bruce, like at least in the animated one, he's like all happy and shit.
Hmm. But yeah, any other takeaways from this movie?
I
Ninja,
mean,
Joff.
uh, the next one might be like no man's land type shit or something because
That's kind of what
Gotham
it
was
feels like, right?
yeah
Yeah.
Gotham was
That's how it
fucked.
felt like in this. Like
Yeah,
Yeah.
or
um,
that one of the Scott Snyder's I think one of his Batman stories where Gotham was flooded, shit, kind of like that.
Mm.
He had something like that. Him and Capullo. I can't remember what storyline it was.
but I believe did the Riddler have something to do that with that also?
Yeah, I think
Attached to
so.
it too. Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's what I liked about this whole thing. Totally they went from the Riddler being a Zodiac killer type thing to where he orchestrated something so big. You know what I mean? It's almost kind of like Bane in the old movie. Where like fucking you go from all right, here's one part of the movie, and then all of a sudden at the end you're dealing with a fucking atomic bomb almost. Like, dude, this guy is a terrorist. Like, so the fact that they show again, man, I can't give enough, love to, I love fucking creepy psycho dudes. So the Riddler really fucking played a great deal into, hey, I'm going to take this as far as I can. I'm going to take my followers and we're going to fuck this place up. So remember at the end where they had all those guys, I was just like, oh man, this is fucking badass. This is
I don't
completely
know.
badass.
I don't know if they shaded him. He's like, oh, he only has 500 followers. That's a lot.
No, that's the thing. If it was too much, you know what I mean? It might have been too much, but I like that it was a small amount. It was like, oh, he only has 500. The fact that he has followers is great, but it's not like, oh, I had 1,000 followers. The fact that he only had 500 followers, that was cool. You know what I mean? But he probably got more followers after, after and shit, right? Dude, he probably skyrocketed.
Trending, but
Oh my goodness.
that
So,
shit was funny, dude.
yeah, any other last takes from the Batman?
Oh, I do want to say, apparently, after this Batman came out, Nirvana, like, kind of ticked up in trending for Spotify, specifically "Something in the Way." That's the
Yep.
Nirvana song that's playing, and that's the song that plays kind of throughout the storyline, um, or throughout the movie. But yeah, it was just very interesting that Nirvana is kind of there's a resurgence of interest in
Mm-hmm.
Nirvana. So just a little
And I
interesting
like
thing.
Ninja. I like how they'll take songs from our childhood because, of course, for me, Nirvana is one of the fucking greatest rock bands of all time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So for them to take also an that first Nirvana, well, not technically the first, but that album, that Nirvana album, really skyrocketed them. So for them to even take a song that wasn't the most popular one,
Yeah, but
it
it was
was not a
definitely one that
single.
I remember. It was
Oh
definitely
yeah,
one that I remember
because
personally.
yeah,
I've
that
listened to
that
this
album
album
a million
so much.
times, right? Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
for them to play, something in the way,
Yeah.
was badass. Was just very very cool. And I know the
Mm-hmm.
Philippines really really loves Nirvana too. You know what I mean? So I bet you they love that. Oh, holy Nirvana, dude, Jap. You know what I'm saying? Jap, it's Nirvana, man. You know what I mean? They probably love that shit. So,
Yeah.
guys, again, we were talking about Batman. If you guys want, you could rewind and check out, our review of it and all that stuff. We appreciate you guys. Jason, are you caught up with Moon Knight? Saw all 4 episodes of that too. So everyone's seen that too.
Well, hold on,
Man.
hold on. Before we go,
Oh
Moon
yeah,
Knight.
yeah.
Since they made a detective Batman story, right? what would you like? What type of genre would you like them to fucking do Batman next? You know, because Batman. This is the beauty of Batman. He could, you know, he almost fits any kind of genre you want.
Um, I love that they gave us a detective movie. You keep bringing up how Phantasm's one of your favorites. I would love for them to fucking adapt that into a movie if they could. You know, but man, I don't know. I'm kind of stuck on that. That's a
I
great
mean,
question.
it's
What,
long enough, right? It's 20 plus years, so they can if
right?
they wanted to.
What about you, Ninja? Where would you want them to go with it?
I don't know. I honestly have no idea. Like, I just want to be surprised with where they kind of go, wherever they go with Batman. Honestly, like, do they bring in Robin? Do they bring in like do they go yeah, like, do they go Dark Victory,
Dark
or
Victory.
there is a Batman Year Two. I think they can go into, but yeah,
Well, see,
I honestly don't know.
well, I was gonna say Batman Year Two. I believe is not canon anymore. For some reason, they erased that, right? And that's the whole
Hmm.
thing with Gotham's first vigilante, the Reaper. And I've always loved that fucking story because it's like, it shows Batman getting fucked up by another vigilante. It was
Yeah.
kind of cool for its time. And something about Alan Davis and later on McFarlane because they shared that series. It was probably my favorite Batman thing, and I really like the character of the Reaper. You know what I mean? So like when they did Phantasm, I was just like, oh, there's elements of that. They're not necessarily going to go with a character called the Reaper, but I love how they kind of brought something along those lines. So if they were to do something like, say, well, that's the thing. I don't know, because of DC's weird timelines, like I guess that year or two where that character doesn't even fucking exist anymore, or something like that. But if they were to go with something like that, where like he has to go against, of course he's always going against somebody, but to go against another vigilante would be kind of cool. But when Jock brought up things like No Man's Land earlier, you guys talked about Dark Victory. That's probably one of my favorite, books from back in the day too. Or shit.
I just want to mention the book that I was talking about, the Catwoman book. It's called When in Rome. It takes
Oh, okay,
place
yeah. That's right.
basically along the same time as Batman Dark Victory, but this one actually talks about her possibly being Carmine Falcone's daughter, right?
Mhm.
Like they kind of talked about it in Long Halloween, but then they expanded on this in this one. So
I keep
um,
mixing that title up with Darwin Cook's like Selena's a Big Score or
oh
something
yeah,
like
that's a
Mm.
completely different
that. Yeah, that's
book.
a different one. But
All right. Well, let's get on to, well, not necessarily Marvel's Batman because that
I
I
hope
believe
they
that.
do a horror one, like a werewolf type with Man Bat and shit.
Oh, actually, you
Kinda
know
cool.
who I'd like to see? Either something like that or maybe I don't know,
Like a werewolf
Clayface.
movie.
I'd love to see Clayface. I've always been a big Clayface fan. A lot of people don't
or
really like that
or
character, but if they were to
or if
do
they could
something with that,
bring in Black Mask, because I know he's supposed to
oh
be
yeah,
showing up in the Batgirl movie, but if they could tie him into it as kind of like an overarching villain, that'd be kind of interesting. Someone that's kind of pulling the strings after all the other mafiosa guys get taken out.
It's not the same Black Mask like Ewan McGregor played already, right? For the new Birds of Prey movie or like the last Birds of Prey
No,
movie.
I believe it's a different one.
Okay.
I think he's gonna be in the new Batgirl. I'm not
I didn't even know that. Is fucking Ewan McGregor Black Mask in that movie?
in
Yeah.
that one. Yeah.
Oh shit, crazy. It's not Andrade,
Nah.
Joff.
No, he looked like Andrade. Andrade stick with that Black Mask, dude.
He does look cool. I was gonna say Ninja that one of the wrestlers on AEW, his entrance, he comes out as a Black Mask character. He has
He has the
he has a
white suit.
pinstripe suit with the black mask, and he takes it off right before he
His mask looks
fights.
sick too. Actually, it's
Hell
not
yeah,
just
He looks badass, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. Anything else, man?
He
Anything
could just
else?
wrestle like that. Just don't take off the mask.
Yeah, he looks badass, right?
But you got no peripheral vision with that mask, though. That's probably why he takes it off.
Yeah.
He does some
Yeah.
freaking crazy moves. You need to be able to see.
Well, from the Dark Knight, we go to Moon Knight, the White Knight. You know what I'm saying? Jason, you said that you watched all 4 episodes. I'm pretty sure you just watched the one that dropped this week, right? What was your thoughts on that, dude? What
I don't
did
know.
did you feel like? What the fuck did I just watch? Let us know.
No, I mean I was at work, so I really didn't kind of pay attention a little bit.
All right.
So I mean, no, I mean it was cool. I mean, I'm not like I wasn't blown away by the episode. 'Cause I don't know the background of Moon Knight, so that's just my thing. I thought the only thing that really piqued my interest was just Egyptian history. So that's pretty much it.
Well, I think a lot of people don't know Moon Knight, so they're giving it to us in this series right here. Right?
Yeah, that's all I got.
All right, Ninja. What about you? What you think about what these 4 episodes we've seen so far?
I'm honestly like just loving the ride right now. I have no idea where it's gonna go. I'm not a Moon Knight fan. I like we've talked about it. I barely
Okay.
read anything on Moon Knight when
Mm-hmm.
as a kid. I haven't picked up any Moon Knight lately. I hear the Jeff Lemire run is supposed to be really good. He's one of my favorite writers, so I might actually pick it up just because I do like Lemire. Um, but yeah, I have no idea where it's going to go, and I know that the Lemire run kind of opens in the same way in the way episode 4 ended with Mark Spector being in a psychiatric ward. So it might go into that storyline, which I'm not 100% familiar with. I don't even know where that one goes, how it ends up, but they might explore that a little bit more. His split personalities. He might actually be a broken person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just don't know where it's going, but I'm definitely enjoying the ride. I'm definitely enjoying just seeing how this whole story unfolds, and if I just, yeah, I just don't know where
What
it's
up,
gonna go.
Cedric? How are you?
And
What up,
so,
Jackie?
and because I'm not familiar with Moon Knight, I'm enjoying it along with everybody else. I don't have any kind of special insight or anything like that. I'm just like, ooh, this is interesting. Oh, that's interesting. So yeah, I think it's pretty cool. It's the final, like the last 10 minutes of of this episode definitely gave me Legion vibes. I don't know if you guys watch Legion on FX about the mutant Legion, the
Mm-hmm.
X-Man, or not X-Man, but
Professor X's and Moira's son.
Yes.
Professor X's kid. Yeah, so it definitely had that feel to it, where it was just a bunch of characters living in a psych ward kind of thing, and it definitely has that feel to it. And honestly, that show is pretty good. Like I really enjoy that show, and because it's giving me that aesthetics, it scratches something in my brain that makes me go, I like this. So I'm enjoying it so far.
Joff, what about you? 4 episodes in. How do you feel about the show? What do you like? What's going on?
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm just I have no expectations. I'm just here for the ride. And because I don't really know a lot about Moon Knight. The only Moon Knight issues I have is just the one, like I think it's David Finch's first run because I just like his
Mm.
art. So it's like, oh, I'll just
Yep.
check it out. And it's a lot of dirty macking going on in this fucking series, dog. Fucking Ethan Hawke, dirty macking, fucking Khonshu and shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, it's true. Yeah,
and fucking Steven, dirty macking Mark.
Stephen and
Can you
Mark.
dirty mac your I guess it's like a separate
your own
personality.
person. Yeah,
It's like yes and no, yes and no. I
Is
guess
it?
that's
Does
how
it?
they play it. That's how they play it,
Yeah.
right? It's
Does it?
bad and
Yeah.
okay at the same time.
Does it
So
count as a dirty Mac if that's like it's the other your other personality?
Yeah. Why shouldn't it?
Fucking
It's a different person.
Oh man, it's dirty Macking going on around here. It's
It's a
fucking
dirty
hilarious.
person, dude.
so
is it
Steven's
really?
totally in the wrong, right?
Really?
Steven is
Huh?
totally in the wrong then,
It's
Jay,
fucked up, dog.
for going against Mark's lady, right?
Yeah,
You kissed her, right?
yeah.
Should play
moved
Joe in the
dog.
background.
He moved in. He just like, oh, swoop in.
Yeah, but he pushed her away. He pushed her
That's
away.
true.
Part of it is Mark's fault. Part of it is Mark's fault.
And
That's
she
true.
wanted it. And she wanted it.
And she seems like she's feeling Steven because, like, Steven, like, Egyptologist and all that shit.
So here's
And
the
he's
weird
nice.
thing, right? I feel like it's kind of weird that Layla is it Layla? Is that her name?
Yeah, Layla. She's hot too.
Like I feel like it's weird that Steven knows more about stuff than she does. Like she actually is in the field doing
Yeah,
the
you're
work
out there.
that her
She out
that
there.
her dad does. She went out with her dad doing stuff. How does Steven
What
know
up, Sally?
more?
You
That's
missed
all
it.
It's kind
That's
of
all
weird.
she. That's all he does. Remember, because he doesn't want to sleep, so he's up all
Yeah,
the time.
so he's up all night. No, I understand
Pretty
that.
much.
But at the same time, this is her life's work.
Yeah.
Her
Well,
dad's life's work.
he probably
you know?
doesn't have the physical, like the actual real life experience because he's never been to Egypt and all that shit. But he has all the book fucking encyclopedic knowledge of
But
everything.
this is her job too. This is also her job.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a little weird.
I don't know. He's a dirty Mac though. I respect.
Look, man, he ain't treating her right.
Hey, he punched him. He punched himself, Fight Club style.
Yeah, Mark got at him. Yeah, Mark was able to punch him.
You got him, dude. But yeah, the Conchu, fucking yeah. I used to be his avatar. He ain't shit. Fucking Ethan Hawke, fucking Pyro, telling Steven.
I was gonna say
still don't
during that
understand.
entire stuff too, they supposedly had a Rama Tut reference there in some of the episodes too. So kind of linking the whole Kang.
Kang. Oh yeah,
and
that
Ponko.
kid.
Mm.
Mhm.
His jacket had that, the Ramatut fucking shit.
Man, I love where they're going with it. I love the fact they're touching on a lot of character. Well, I don't want to say flawed and all that stuff, but superheroes and villains are flawed and all that stuff. But there is also a realism. So with them putting what is it called? Ninja dissociative
DID,
DID.
dissociative
identity disorder. For them to actually put this out there and for people that suffer with that, to be able to, they can't. Who can they relate to? Who can they relate to? Shit, you can relate to fucking Oscar Isaac because this motherfucker is acting his ass off. To switch from Steven to Mark to possibly maybe a third.
A third,
Yeah.
A third. That's how. Just like what you guys said, I don't think anybody here is a fucking Moon Knight fan. We're not out here buying Moon Knight books, but
I'm not gonna say that I
no.
Yeah,
But
I didn't even know about Mr. Knight. I'm like, oh shit, Mr.
Yeah,
Knight.
that's kind of cool too. The whole Mr. Knight thing.
Yeah.
But I think the thing that's always intrigued me though about this character is the fact that he had multiple personalities. Ninja also brought up Legion earlier. With Professor X's son Legion. I remember my cousin Ryan used to always talk about this guy. I'm like, dude, this is a mutant with 3 personalities, and they each have mutant powers.
Each have their own power. Yeah.
So I always thought that was fucking badass. Not only that, but you also had the Robert Smith cure-looking hair. Back in the day, he looked fucking crazy. So I loved weird characters like that. So even though I've always known him as Mark Spector, the mercenary that had different personalities, but I believe in the last run of books, they really are out here to fuck with your mind. And so, dude, what am I actually reading here?
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, the 4th episode drops, and the entire premise is dude, did anything that we just watched for these last fucking 4 weeks really happen?
Mm.
You know, is any of this real? And when they go back to, there's this one part where they go back into trying to find out, like, you know, he's in the war, then all of a sudden he has a figure in his hand. You know, some guy's rolling by with the cupcakes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, which alludes to the cupcake truck he was driving in the first episode. His boss from the gift shop, she's there. You know, Layla is just a patient also. So like, hey, did these things really happen? But then all of a
Yeah.
sudden, in the big reveal of like, hey, there's Steven and Mark. I really love that too.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
interaction, even though you know, like, hey, this is some computer imagery type stuff. They really played off like, hey, these guys are really there. It was such a cool moment for them to find each other. Like, holy shit, you know, what do you remember last? You know, what do you remember last?
So it's probably in his head, right? That whole psych ward shit's happening in
I
his
have to
head.
imagine it is,
Yeah.
because he does find the sarcophagus. Like,
Yeah.
what psych ward throws
Yeah.
sarcophaguses into your room, right? But it would be kind of interesting to kind of show you that he had, you know, because we're all thinking, oh, this is just in his brain, you know. So there's
Mhm.
like no real stakes yet, right? We're all thinking, how's he gonna get out of this one? I think it'd be kind of interesting if he doesn't get out of this one. But
Well, I
Mm.
thought
Mm.
because when before he saw Steven, I thought it was like, oh shit, this could be just is just this really during the psych ward, and then when he saw Steven, because of the sarcophagus and shit, I was like, oh okay, we're in his head or whatever. But before that, I thought it was like, oh shit, did all this shit just really happen, or
What up,
is he just,
Pink?
you know,
yeah,
we're in the fucking mental institution the whole time?
What you guys think when all of a sudden that big ass hippo came out at the end?
That shit fucking freak. Like, what the fuck is
I
going
was like,
on?
why? I was like, why? What's
going on?
happening? Yeah,
And it was a hippo from the gift shop. Remember how he had hippos from the first episode? He's oh, this is a fucking hippo, and they're like, no, it's the god Naui
Fertility,
or something like that, right?
it's like narrow wet or
Yeah,
arrow
Narrowhead or something like that.
something
Yeah,
like
what do you
that,
think about that, Jason? All of a sudden, a big ass hippo came and said, "Hi."
Yeah.
Right?
It's like one of those. It's like Russell Westbrook, right? Like he looks hell tough, but his voice doesn't match his body,
Mm.
or the like the physical person that you see, but then like the voice doesn't match because it's like hella high pitch.
Yeah.
And it sounds like he's nice.
You know, I read something about that hippo part too, where they're like, "Hey, can we throw this in here?" And when they found out that they could get away with doing something like throwing a fucking hippo in this thing, they're like, "Oh, wait, hold on. That means we can go." Disney and Marvel's letting us fucking go anywhere
do
we
whatever.
want.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I
kind
mean,
of
if
a
you
cool
think about
aspect.
it, yeah, it's. I mean, the guy doesn't know what's reality and what's fantasy, and it's Moon Knight. No one knows what the fuck a Moon Knight is, so you can literally do whatever the fuck you want, which is awesome.
And yeah, it just makes you kind of look back into like, yeah, they didn't really reference any old movies. So did this really happen all in his head? That's kind of a cool mystery. Jason, did you
Yeah.
have comment?
Well, I just like the fact that they incorporated all the Egyptian gods into human avatars.
Mm.
That was like, oh, that's hella cool. So just
And how many gods are entombed in stone as well? That's kind of cool.
so it like you got to picture the fact that like like we haven't even seen Hercules yet, so they haven't even touched like
What up,
Greek
Ivan?
mythology. As,
Yeah.
like they're touching up on Egyptian
Mm.
gods.
Thank
and
you,
like,
Ivan, for that pizza, man. I appreciate you, Ivan.
so it's like it got me thinking like you have you within the Marvel universe you have Egyptian, Greek, and possibly Roman gods in this universe too. So just
No, and Norse gods.
yeah, Norse. Like it's hella crazy. So you just never know.
It should be interesting. Yeah, I mean, and I can't wait for the Greek gods to be introduced. Maybe we'll
What
talk
up,
about the
Ivan?
trailer. We'll talk about the trailer, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say Thor: Love and Thunder just came out. The or not the movie, but the trailer just
the
dropped.
trailer. Yeah,
What do you guys think about that?
I'm hyped.
Excited, dude.
I'm excited.
My
Too.
favorite. I'm not a big Guns N' Roses guy, but that's probably my favorite Guns N' Roses song.
Dude, when it came on, it was very, very cool. Yeah. And then when you got to see a little bit of fucking Mighty Thor, I was like, hell yes. Because
Hey.
she's honestly an amazing Thor. Like, her storyline is fucking cool as shit. So
I like Thor trying to get back into shape, doing fucking the battle chains and shit.
Yeah,
And
that was
still has
fucking
the gun.
badass. And I love how they, well, you know, if you guys look in the credits, they tease. Ivan is saying, "What's up to Ron, Ninja J, and laughing my ass off, Master Dick. What up,
That's right,
Ivan?"
dog. Ivan out here fucking. He's still out here, Ivan.
What do you call it? If you guys look at the credits in Love and Thunder, you'll see that Russell Crowe is
Yeah.
playing
Yeah, Zeus.
Zeus.
Yeah.
So Jason earlier was talking about we'll get to see certain gods and all that stuff. Man, I can't wait to see certain guys we like. And Russell Crowe's always been okay with me. So for him to be like, dude, you're playing fucking Zeus. That's not a small role.
He's probably gonna be a funny ass Zeus. It seemed like
Probably,
It
seems really hokey.
Yeah. And maybe
Are
we
we-
get Hercules too.
Are we going to see Hercules?
Yeah.
Is he going to be bi? Because
I'm pretty sure he will be. They'll probably make him. Yeah. But dude, that was, even though I knew it was coming, it's so badass how they showed. Wait, hold on. Is Jane Foster still going to be thirsty? Because remember in the first two movies, she was so thirsty for Thor. You know what I mean?
Probably not.
Yeah,
She was
probably
so
not.
wet. She was so
Probably not.
wet for Thor.
I think it's gonna.
Because they broke up in after the second movie.
I think it's
How'd they
gonna
break
switch.
up? How'd they break up?
They didn't
It was
say.
off screen. It was off
Oh,
screen.
they never said,
Yeah.
right?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, so
I think
you think
It's
Thor's
gonna
going to be?
split. Yeah.
No,
he's
because
gonna be
the other way.
Remember in Ragnarok when he was taking a selfie with these teens. I'm like, sorry about Jane. It's like it's a
It's public knowledge then, huh?
yeah.
Oh,
It's a it's a mutual thing. They broke up. And shit.
he's gonna be thirst trapped. He's gonna be thirsty for big time in this one. I feel.
Hey, she's hanging out with Better Ray Bill.
yeah.
Or Hercules. She's hanging out with Hercules.
Poor Scott. Poor Scott.
Getting that real Stormbreaker.
There's a great possibility that we actually might see Beta Ray Bill. I believe they go.
Yeah.
I believe there's something about them going back to maybe a Sakaar, right? I love how Thor's new buddy is Korg, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they've been buddies for a while, but like you get to like, oh shit, Korg's back. You know what I mean? And
Ain't nothing to do at New Asgard for him, dude.
I
Fucking
seen
Thor
this
left
one
his
tweet the
ass.
other day, or I seen this one message the other day where they're like, dude, Joff, I think a lot of us here, not just Joff, but Ragnarok is probably one of our favorite Thor movies.
Yeah.
But one guy was like, dude, that I hold that movie near and dear to my heart because, Thor was the first gamer. Him and his crew were the first gamers in MCU. So like, the game, the gamer culture was like, oh, dude, this is some guy that, they're spending their days playing video games online.
He was depressed.
Shit. Yeah, I love it. I love how they brought
He got
that
fat,
aspect.
dude.
Yeah, he became a gamer, dog. You feel me? Eating flaming hot Cheetos with Mountain Dew. You know what I'm saying? You gotta love it. By the way, I tried that. I don't know if you guys saw Liana's feed, but we bought a case of flaming hot Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as we walked into Walmart, when you walk into Walmart, there'll be the sale right there. And on a big pallet was flaming hot Mountain Dew. And I've never drank Mountain Dew in my life. I try not
Really?
to.
You've never drank
Yeah,
Mountain Dew?
not really my thing. So
How do you know it's not your thing if you never drank it?
No, I mean I've tried it before, and I'm like, What is this supposed to be? Mountain juice? Like this doesn't taste
Is it
like.
too sweet for you?
I don't know. And Liana was like, "Yo, it has the most caffeine. That's why fucking gamers drink it." I was like,
Oh
"Yeah,
yeah.
gamers are fucking
Oh
dying
yeah.
off fucking Mountain Dew, though. You know what I mean? They
At
don't
EA,
leave
that's all I drank.
Mountain Dew, really?
Yeah. Dude, for
Hey.
the caffeine. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Dude,
When you had to stay up late, when you had to pull like 12, 14, 15-hour shifts. Yeah.
Monster.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Monster.
Nah,
Like,
I mean,
Monster
if
was
it's
always
not
more expensive. It was more expensive.
if it's
But-
not Coke for me, then I mean, I think Coke is just and I'm talking about not cocaine. I'm talking about Coca Cola. You know what I mean?
Dude.
So Coke was always like a good caffeine or coffee, just some
Yeah,
regular ass
Monster.
coffee.
Yeah, Monster works because like I fucking wreck shop at Madden when I'm on fucking Monster. It's like my fucking I can see everything. My fucking reflexes are faster, and when I'm off it, I'm just like fuck. It's like
Dude,
Dead,
it was
huh?
like $1 at EA, man. That's why I got Mountain Dew, because it was a quarter.
Well, this is probably the only Mountain Dew I'll fucking drink, man, because it has the spiciness in your lips. Like you kind of feel it in your lips. Like, oh
So
shit,
weird.
there's
yeah.
a
I could only imagine fucking people on first person shooters on with fucking caffeinated up.
spicy Mountain
Fuck
Dew.
That's why these motherfuckers is dying though. They don't want to leave their computer, right? They're playing fucking 82 hours of fucking something, and they're fucking dying on their fucking chairs, dog. Mom doesn't even know you're dead. Imagine that, dude. Like the mom thinks you're like
Like
just
fucking
sitting down playing game, yeah, and you've
like
been dead for
Cartman.
like 3 days.
South Park.
Yeah, and the room probably already smells already. You know what
So
I
yeah,
mean?
you can't
So,
tell. You definitely can't
yeah,
tell.
you can't tell like my son's been dead for 5 days. Like, damn, you didn't even fucking know and shit. That's fucked up. So, yeah, man.
Damn.
Well, we're about we'll give him a little bit more. We're past the 2 hour mark here. I don't know if you guys wanted to, I mean, I know, I brought up, some of the things earlier that was going on in pop culture and stuff. I don't know if, you guys want to talk about that. Was there some stuff that you guys wanted to talk about though before we get into recos?
Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson.
Oh, Jason.
Mike Tyson?
Mike
Yeah.
Tyson. Oh, Mike
Well,
Tyson.
I put it in the
Holy
group chat, but Jason, go ahead and let the folks know at home what's going on with it.
So this intoxicated dummy that got on the plane. And mind you, this happened actually in San Francisco. So
Mm-hmm.
this was an SFO. So
Yeah, because he was here for some 420 shit.
Yeah, he was going to Hippie Hill. He was supposed to go to Hippie Hill in San Francisco.
There are rules and regulations as far for certain airlines where if they have like a certain celebrity or athlete on the thing, they normally tell the other passengers that can you please leave this person in peace, because they're just they just want to get home or get to wherever they're going, right? So I guess this idiot, it was cool at the beginning. He got his picture, he got his selfie with Mike Tyson, but from that point on, because this entire time he was intoxicated, I don't know with what, probably drunk and high, and he would not leave Mike Tyson alone. There were reports saying that Mike told him to chill out, and then the next thing you know, he's getting his face bashed in. I'm like, well, I mean, what do you expect? It's fucking Mike Tyson, right?
And Jason, the last clip is his friend saying, "Yep, there's my boy, just got punched by Mike Tyson."
So
Like,
okay,
no
so
shit.
this is even the funnier part to me is after they got off they got off the plane, and then he got medical attention, and then he bitched out and ran to the police. So, well, I mean, what are you gonna say? I was talking shit to Mike Tyson, and
I antagonized this person.
Yeah, I'm like,
Go ahead,
He
Joe.
told me to stop.
Yeah,
He
take
told me
it.
to stop a bunch of times. Yeah.
Joff, you got something? Go ahead.
I was just trying to imagine fucking Mike telling that dude to calm down. Shit. Sir,
Calm down.
please,
Calm
can you
down.
please stop it? I'm warning you.
Yo, I don't mean to victim blame. Okay, I'm
No,
not trying to
dude.
victim,
Fuck it.
but this is the thing. What the fuck is Mike Tyson flying in coach with all the
It's
other
not
fucking?
coach. It looks nice. It's
Was
right. It's like
it?
business
Yeah,
class.
it was like business first class.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, it looked like you were amongst the fucking. You know, I don't. I just to me, I was like, dude, is Mike flying coach here? I was like, okay,
No.
I'm not. You know. But no, I mean, I had no victim blaming for him. But again, you're putting a fucking pit bull or a lion inside a fucking confined space. You know, and I don't mean to dehumanize Mike. I'm just saying, and you know, he does get a. That's kind of fucked up. I shouldn't. I shouldn't say like, oh, this is a bulldog. This is a pit bull. This is some guy that's been through some shit. He's no longer who he was. But
Mm.
But if you fucking poke at a fucking bear, you know, that's lying still, it will eventually wake up, you know, one way or the other and react a certain way.
Yeah.
I don't think it sucks. I think Mike could get in trouble for this, but dude,
So
Yeah.
this is actually the other thing. The guy,
Threw water bottle at him. Allegedly.
he has a felony background, like prison felony background. So
mm,
there, I mean,
And allegedly
You know.
he threw a water bottle at Mike
yeah. So
first.
I mean, you got hella witnesses. So I mean, it's not like, you know. I mean, if I was there, I'd be defending. I'd be defending Mike. Like, yeah, this guy's being an idiot.
Yeah, this dude was being fucked up. Yeah.
if you're truly a Mike Tyson fan, though, you don't approach somebody like that you hold in high. I mean, for me, he's the greatest boxer in my lifetime. You
He's
know,
just trying to get home, man.
yeah, he's just trying to, and he's probably high as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like Mike, stay high, dog. Like, dude, the
Yeah,
guy
he's
is
super chill.
microdosing on fucking shrooms. You don't know what he's on, so he just want to go home. You know what I'm saying? He just want to go home. So for him to get picked on like that, I just thought it was more like, dude, you're not a real fan if you're gonna treat somebody like that. You know what I mean? So kind of garbage, man. Anything else that you guys wanted to talk about regarding Mike Tyson? Shout out to Mike, man. Hopefully he don't get in trouble for this. You know, hopefully that guy just smartens up with like, you know what? Even though I went to the police and all that stuff, I'll just shut the fuck up about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I fucked up on this. Yeah.
No, it's not gonna happen.
Probably not, but
It's not gonna happen.
yeah. Probably.
Like Mike should sue him. He should counter him. Like, dude, I'll counter sue
He's
you.
lucky I saw Mike's not even like he didn't even get the full extension. He was
Nope.
just getting rabbit punches.
Yep. What up, Phoenix? How are you?
Mike didn't even like get like a full extended fucking fish shot.
Yeah, you definitely could have knocked him out.
Could have killed that dude.
Yeah, you could have killed him.
Hey, remember when we were young? You were like, yeah, fucking. Hey, how much would you let? Fucking, would you get? If somebody pays you $1 million, would you have Mike Tyson punch you in the head? You know what I mean? Like fucking
no.
shit like that before. It's like, you know, how much would fuch
I
money-
wouldn't. I wouldn't be able to enjoy that $1 million.
Yeah,
after
you
that.
fucking be
That
brain
did.
dead. So.
Yeah.
Thank you, Phoenix. I appreciate you.
You
Make
got
sure
a
you follow
super fucking
Jopsimus, Ninja, and Jay.
a
That's
super
like saying,
state of the art fucking wheelchair. How
yeah.
about that?
That's like saying, that's like I'll give you $1 million to let Lawrence Taylor tackle you, but no one's blocking for you. That's the only thing. Like,
Yeah, I'm not gonna
rather
snap
have
my
that.
leg. No,
I'd rather
I'm
have
not gonna
that
snap
than
my
fucking-
leg.
Mike Tyson punched me in the fucking head.
I'm good.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Anything else that you guys wanted to talk about? I know I had brought up some stuff earlier, but I wanted to see if you guys had anything else that you want to talk about before we get into recos. I am the Phoenix is saying, are you all a fan of DC and Marvel? Yes. We just spent the last 2 hours talking about the Batman. So if you want, you can go and watch the replay. You can go to Elite X Kumu on YouTube, and you can check out all our episodes. Phoenix, we talked about the Batman today. We also talked about Moon Knight. We did our reviews on that. So yeah, I'm so glad you're here, Phoenix. Thank you for joining us. You're amongst the master of geekdom and nerdom here on Kumu with Jopsimus Prime, Ninja Iceberg, me, Ron Sara, Jay Jericho also. You know what I mean? So make sure, pretty please with the cherry on top, follow us here on Kumu right there. You know what I mean? So and we're fans of everything: pop culture, sports, movies, music, love, sex, relationships, anything or everything under the sun too. Um, but yeah, maybe in the next episode we can talk about because I did bring up the whole Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial that's been kind of dominating the things. The only reason why I wanted to bring it up is this, though. Of course, we're going through a trial, so we're seeing celebrities being dragged in. Joff talked about, and I didn't know this. Kevin Nash was dragged into this trial. People like James Franco, Paul Bettany, they're getting dragged into this trial. You see a toxic relationship going on. You also see, like, man, it just sucks when I kind of get the feeling like, how we've been a part of this thing that we see, pop culture. You see things go on like the Me Too movement. You see women being violated, yet we try to protect women and all that stuff. I think in this case, I could be wrong for all I know. You know what I mean? But you got fucking Amber Heard here doing everything she can to destroy who Johnny Depp is. I think, and they're based on these lies or based on these things. So I was gonna say, if you guys look at the trial, watch some of the stuff, or you can just read some of the stuff, and maybe next week we could talk about the toxicity of being in a relationship like that. Because for me, it also it struck a nerve with me. I used to be in an abusive relationship. I used to be, where guys can get abused too, and I think a lot of people don't talk about that. It's always women getting abused. Guys get abused too. You know what I mean? That's one reason why I wanted to talk about that. So maybe we could talk about that in a future episode. I am Phoenix is saying I haven't watched it yet, but I love to collect them all. Pokemon, yes. I play Pokemon. I'm a Pokemon Go man. You know what I mean? So yeah, we talk about all things nerdy here. I am Phoenix. We're here every Friday, U.S. time from 9:30 p.m., which is 12:30 Dyan sa Pilipinas. 12:30 all the way till 2-3 hours we try to give you. So I was gonna say anything else before we get into recos. Joff, just real quick for you, one thing that I really really enjoyed, it was CM Punk versus Dustin Rhodes
Oh, okay.
earlier this week. I don't know if you saw that match, but
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that.
what a beautiful match, dude.
It's old school.
It was an old school match. It was like almost watching fucking 80s 90s wrestling. And spoiler alert, it doesn't end with a finishing move. And that's how you know that they did it for the love of wrestling. When you end it on a fucking roll up, or when you end it on a, like a small package, when Bret Hart would
Yeah,
I'll
cradle.
end it on this, a cradle. You know what I mean? I really, really love that. So, that's a mini reco right there. But I was gonna say, let's look, we are going to hit that midnight hour, so I don't want to keep you guys any longer. Jason, do you have any recos going into this episode? Nope.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Thank you, Jason. Kyubi, baby is in the house. Kumusta? What about you, Ninja? Any recos going on into this episode?
Yeah. So since we were talking about the Batman, I'm just gonna recommend, some of the stuff that we brought up or I brought up, whatever. Long Halloween is a series
Mm.
that's set in a year one, written by Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale. Basically, it's a full year of crimes happening once a month based on the month and the holiday that occurs in that month, and Batman's trying to figure out who's doing it. Because even though they're killing mafia people, he's still they're still terrorizing the city, and he's still trying to stop that from happening. So it's a really cool story. Obviously, Frank Miller's and David Mazzucchelli's Year One, where a lot of these are the stories that basically the Batman is this particular movie, the Batman is kind of lifting some of the stuff from, right? The whole Carmine Falcone with the claws, the scar.
Oh, I love that part.
That is from the
That was
book.
badass.
That is where Selena Kyle does give him that scar. So that's that shows up there. Obviously, Dark Victory is part 2 to Long Halloween. It just kind of continues that first and second year of Batman. Him becoming Batman kind of thing. So check those out if you want to check out like some stories that are set early in Batman's career. And you can kind of get a little bit of an insight on where they're pulling inspiration from for this specific movie. Yeah, that's basically my recommendation.
Joff, what about you? Any recos for?
Yeah, going off of your recommendation is like it's the match is like a couple weeks ago actually. It's if you love tag team wrestling, it's FTR versus Young Bucks, and then before that,
Oh, I have not seen that yet.
FTR versus
wow.
FTR versus fucking the Briscoes.
Oh, for ROH, that was the ROH match, right?
Yeah, it's tight. It's like fuck. I can't say it's the best. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to say. It's a lot. It's a lot of good tag team matches. So, but it's one of the good ones for sure. So yeah. And if you like some ridiculousness, like Hook versus Danhausen.
I have not seen that match yet, but oh wow,
It's not a match, but it was just like pretty much like they're setting it up because Danhausen has been kind of like doing some ridiculous shit, like and Hook,
his normal curse, and then
Yeah.
Hook will look at him and then just leave.
yeah, he's like Hook, like he's not affected about anything. He's too cool and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, Danhausen had enough. I guess he's finally healthy. His broken legs, I guess he got the okay, so he could do something physical now. So it's wrestling. It's like you have to have some ridiculous shit in your wrestling. So
I've been trying to get caught up with some wrestling stuff too. So I actually have a whole bunch of recommendations too. So yeah, any other recommendations? Though Master Dick. It's a crazy fucking nickname too.
It's fucking. That's it, right? Really, right now, like because I just been watching Moon Knight and then Batman. I think that's the only thing I've watched, and watching the playoffs. That's about it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was going to say I have a whole bunch of recommendations for the people there watching. We're talking about comic books right now. To go off of what Ninja was saying, how he was talking about certain Batman books are kind of based on what's going on right now. I talked earlier about how Batman Year 2 was one of my favorite books, but somehow, it's out of continuity. But I really, really love this story. It was just so badass. It's about Batman having to deal with another vigilante. And in this series, which is one of the big reveals that happened in the beginning, is he has to team up with Joe Chill, the man that killed his parents. So like you actually get to see Batman rocking the gun that killed his parents. It's a very, very cool story. The artwork is dope. First two issues, I think it's Alan Davis, and then it's McFarlane for the rest of the series. Again, it never existed, so go ahead and check that out. Um, on the we talk about wrestling. I watch all types of wrestling, but one really good show is the Broken Skull Sessions with Steve Austin. His latest episode happens to be with Bubba Ray Dudley, and he talks about his career. And to see two guys just talking about their stuff, it's really really cool. So I highly recommend that. In the beginning of the show, I had talked about how the Batman put me on this whole. I wanted to watch a bunch of Southern Gothic type movies and stuff. If you look at the genre of Southern Gothic, you'll find things like True Detective, with Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson. You'll find things like Interview with the Vampire, also things like that. But there's two movies that I really really liked that I've seen in the past, and I rewatched it again. I just thought they were fucking amazing. The first movie came out in '87 or '88, something like that. It's called Angel Heart. It's Robert De Niro and Mickey Rourke and Lisa Bonet. I believe when this movie had came out, Bill Cosby publicly told Lisa Bonet, "Hey, you're fucking up by doing this movie." Lisa Bonet, in the middle of the Cosby Show, does an explicit sex scene in this movie. You know what I mean? And if you want to talk about fucked up movies where it's a long burn and all of a sudden it just hits you in the gut, Angel Heart is one of those movies. This is before Mickey Rourke fucked up his face by becoming a boxer, but he plays. It's in the 1960s, I believe, and he's a private detective. Almost, if you like noir movies, if you like detective movies, he's sent or ordered, by Robert De Niro's character to find a singer that owes him a debt. Is basically it. I want you to find this guy because he owes me. You know what I mean? And Mickey Rourke goes on to, he's a detective, so he goes on to try and solve this crime. And it's a really, really good movie. So if you guys want to see something that's old but still stands the test of time, check out Angel Heart. Another movie that came out kind of along the same lines. You guys might have seen this. The Devil's Advocate with Keanu Reeves and Al Pacino. It came out maybe a little bit before The Matrix came out. It was like 97, 98 or something like that. I believe when I was looking at the thing of this movie, Keanu Reeves turned down Speed 2 to do The Devil's Advocate. You know what I mean? So he took a less of a paycheck to go work with, the great Al Pacino. And again, it's one of those movies where it just hits you in the gut, later on and stuff like that. A really cool movie. I'm really on this trip right now of that. And the last one I talked about it earlier. Ninja, what was the name of that trio that I talked about?
West Memphis 3.
There's this documentary. It's on HBO. It's a three-parter, but it's on the West Memphis Three. It's about three boys that were convicted of killing three kids, and their journey of like, did they really do it, and all that stuff. There's three parts. The first one was filmed in 1990, I believe. The second part, it was in the 2000s, and the last part was recently, maybe like 2017, 2018, something like that. But it's about their journey. If you guys like true crime, go ahead and check that out. So yeah, those are my recommendations. Anything else that you guys wanted to get off your chest before we get up out of here? We gave the fans, 30 something extra minutes. You know what I mean? So I'm glad that they got to stick around with us. And to the 2, 3, 4, 5 people that happen to be watching us on Twitch, Facebook, um, YouTube, and all that stuff, thank you guys for watching us. We appreciate you. And if you happen to join us here on Kumu too, thank you guys. Anything else that you guys want to say before we get up out of here?
I just want to say West Memphis is actually in Arkansas, not Tennessee.
Mm.
It's weird.
And also beware. Also, there's a lot of of course, it's a true crime documentary, so a lot of graphic images there. You know what I mean? But yeah,
Content warning. Content warning.
yes, content warning. But you don't have to watch all three of those documentaries. I mean, you can if you're trying to, fucking bury yourself in that. But the third one is really really good. So yeah. Anything else though before we get up out of here, guys?
Oh,
Nope.
I'm good.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us. My name is Ron Sara, Master Dick, Ninja Iceberg, Good Hair Having Gavin, aka Jay Jericho, down there. We'll see you guys next week. Take care. Thank you guys for joining us. Bye bye. We'll see you guys. Take care.